KTNJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
Yeah! 97.3 ESPN presents The Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
Now, live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
Smith and Brown out to the far side. Smith in the slot. Hurts. Looks. He is rolling. He's looking. He's pumping. He is going deep downfield. And it is caught. Devontae Smith. Touchdown. The bomb.
Nick Sirianni having his team ready to play. Whatever he said to them at the half, good on him coming out. He had a good challenge he threw. You know, Nick was Johnny on the spot in a couple moments today. And I think, like, whether he just stayed out of the script a little bit more this week, good on him.
Chris Long talks Nick Sirianni. Merrill Reese on the call as the Eagles, with maybe one of their most impressive, dominant performances in recent memory, they beat the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday, as heard on 97.3 ESPN. It's the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, and streaming live video on the X platform and YouTube at Mike Gill Show. I'm your host, Mike Gill. Josh Henning producing today's show back in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. Pete G is my on-site producer. The bomb to Devontae Smith, and really it was a turning point in the game. There were a couple of turning points in the game yesterday that we're going to get into. I thought it was just one of the more complete performances, which is interesting because the way the game started off yesterday, I tweeted out the easy button. That was easy. The Bengals go right down the field, and you feel like here we go again, a good quarterback going against this Vic Fangio defense as we've seen in the past. This style of defense against the good quarterbacks just kind of picked apart down the field, and the Bengals went right down and scored. And it was a slow, ugly game for really the whole first half. And that play there, the Devontae Smith touchdown, it's on a 2nd down and 8. And if you listen to the beginning of that call, we kind of edited it to where the exciting part was. But, you know, Merrill Reese, 2nd down and 8, like the third quarter. It just felt like another play of what's going to happen here. But that play there, the Eagles reclaim the lead. It's 24-17 now, a 45-yard touchdown with 2:43 left in the third quarter. Remember, that was a 3-play, 70-yard drive, so that's another big play there. But they take a 1-score lead with 2:45 left in the third quarter, so this felt like it was going to be a close, tight game. But, man, there are a couple of things that happened later on after that big touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts that really turned this game around. But I want to see what everybody out there feels today. 609-403-0973. 609-403-0973. You know, there's so many moments and plays in this game that I could just completely recollect and pull out and say, man, that was a big moment in the game. That was a big moment in the game. That was a big moment in the game. But I have a play that I think was the biggest moment in the game that really locked the victory for the Eagles. And I want to see if everybody's on board with that. 609-403-0973. What do you guys, how are we feeling about the Eagles' win over the Bengals? I would say this. To me, that Bengals team is talented. It's a good team. It's not a great team. They have their problems. They have problems up front, their offensive line. Their defense is okay. It's not great. But I think what the Eagles did to them yesterday was a reason to have some hope for the defense. Because the defense went up against a good passing team. With now T. Higgins being out, I think that did change the dynamics of that game yesterday. When Higgins was ruled out for the game, we talked about it Friday. You remember I had McMullen on, and we asked him if simply Higgins is out, does that change possibly the outcome of this game? And both Sal Paolantonio and John McMullen both said, yeah, that could swing the game from a win to a loss. And I don't know if that's swing the game from a win to a loss, but does the game that the Eagles played on Sunday defensively, forget offensively, okay? We'll get into the offense, I think, by itself here in a minute. But the Eagles' defense has played well for 2 weeks in a row, now 3 weeks in a row. Are we at the point where this defense personnel and scheme are coming together for you to say, you know what, I think I kind of trust this defense now. Yeah, they're going to have a week where they're not going to play well, but overall, is this a better defense than you were giving it credit for? That's number one, all right? Number two, the defense. I think Cooper DeJean getting added to the defense has done so many great things for this defense. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. That's number two. I think what Cooper DeJean has added to this defense, I really like the way they used him on Sunday. And then, you know, you got an interception yesterday from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That was actually an awesome catch by him. You know, the concentration, the ball gets tipped up in the air. But I think Quinyon Mitchell played a really, really good game. Mitchell was really good in the game yesterday. I thought Nakobe Dean had a pretty good game yesterday. You know, overall, are we starting to feel better about the personnel and the scheme, and that these guys are getting more comfortable, and as they're getting more comfortable, that they can play faster and freer, and that with them playing faster and freer, that this is actually a pretty good defense. 609-403-0973, 609-403-0973. So I want to first get people's thoughts on the defense, because I think the defense is why you won that. Now, I know the offense hit some big plays, but this game's going back and forth. This game, you know, they go down the field and score right off the bat, and you're thinking, oh, here we go. They settled in after that. Cincinnati went down the field and scored, and it was 10-3 at halftime. So the defense settled into that game, and then it's 17-17, and the offense makes a big play. So right when it felt like this game is going to go back and forth, the offense makes a big play. But then the defense kind of ended it right there. And Cincinnati was not able to score again the rest of the game. And I thought that was the big thing. The fact that it wasn't a back and forth. It didn't kind of keep going into a shootout mode. I thought the defense really did a great job in the second half of that game after that Cincinnati second touchdown. And it was 17-17 that they kind of, bang, that's it. They shut them down the rest of the way. And there's a couple of moments and stuff. I see some people texting in the play. One guy has already hit the one.
I got one
that I thought was the game changer.
I think I got yours.
You think you do?
I do.
All right.
You want to hear it?
Well, hold on. Let me read some of these text messages here
I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Mike, I'm a Bengals fan. I told you guys not to worry Friday about losing this game. So many people are surprised the Eagles beat us. I don't understand why. Our defense, along with Zach Taylor and his play calling, are pathetic. I saw this loss from a mile away. Well, you know, that's the difference. When you're a fan of a team, you're too close to the team sometime. And I think the Eagles fans have been scarred. And I think the one thing to this Bengals fan, and I appreciate you texting in, it's the Burrow chase. The Eagles have struggled with top-level quarterbacks in the passing game. And it's these top-level quarterbacks that just kind of bang, 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 and they're just so accurate and they're so quick and they get the ball out, and it just kills this defense. We've seen it so many times. And I think Burrow and Chase, that combination was something that really had people worried. And, you know, listen, Jalen Hurts had not been playing great football. I thought yesterday was probably Jalen Hurts' best game in recent memory. It was one of the better games that he has played. Oh, man, I'm trying to think back the last time where you're like, he played a really good game. You know, we talked last week, look, he looks like he's in slow motion and all that. He looked great yesterday. The throw he makes to Devontae Smith, beautiful, right on the numbers, right on the money. I mean, how many quarterbacks in the league are putting that ball right in the breadbasket where he did? I feel like he made a lot of great decisions. I thought he made a lot of great plays. It was a really, really solid Jalen game. 609-403-0973. Mike from the Villas chimes in. He says, Mike, I'll be honest. I'm always hating on Sirianni and Hurts, but they both excelled yesterday. The coaches made adjustments. Hurts, no turnovers, and mainly made the right choice. Yeah, I think that Hurts played maybe his best game. I don't even remember. I mean, I'm trying to think of the last time where you're like, man, the Washington game he played last year, there was a game in Washington that I remember we were talking about. If he doesn't, you know, he basically – they win the game because Hurts. I mean, he won them that game against Washington. That's one game.
Yeah,
that stands out to me.
October 29th, he had 4 touchdown passes and a 76% completion percentage against Washington last year.
I would
Okay, so
say
that's the Washington game,
The
yeah.
Bills overtime game where he wins the game for them.
That's true. That
in
Bills
overtime,
game, and that was like
in
right
the
around the
rain,
same time.
in the pouring rain.
Yeah, because
was
that
probably-
Washington game was what, October, whatever, and I think the Bills were either the week before or
month,
right after.
It was a month later.
A month after. Okay, well, there was that stretch of games last year where
It was a stretch of games after they lost to the Jets, and we were like, what the heck is wrong with this team? And then they went on to beat the Dolphins and Washington and Dallas and Kansas City and Buffalo. You started feeling good again.
Yeah, they're 10-1. I mean, they lost that game to the Jets. They're 10-1 last year with that stretch of games. They went to Kansas City and won. They beat the Bills in overtime. I mean, there was a stretch of games where they played all those really good playoff teams and they won them all. I don't know. Did yesterday's game make you feel that this team has turned the corner? PG?
I think so.
Wow.
I'm buying
You're sold.
back in.
You're buying back in. We're at the casino.
Yeah.
We're at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort. Right now, if I say, hey, here's 100, go to that window.
Am I taking the NFC Championship game?
No.
Number 2 seed?
No, how about
New
NFC
Orleans?
East?
Oh, NFC East? Well,
I mean, Washington won yesterday. More on that play later, but
they should be in first place if Chicago cannot allow that Hail Mary. So I'm still going to buy in as the NFC
okay,
East
I would say, are we buying that this team has put away the doubts that they are the team that was 1-7 over their last 8 games last year?
Yes. I think they turned the corner.
Josh?
I think Saquon Barkley is the reason why they've turned the corner.
I was actually starting to buy in after last week's win. I think this week just confirmed how I was already feeling because of the fact that, to me now, when you win road games and you beat teams you're supposed to beat, I think it's a sign of a good football team.
Yeah, I mean, that's you just brought up an interesting point, Josh. The Eagles are 5-2. I think they have played, correct me if I'm wrong, have they played twice at home?
Yeah, just twice.
Just twice.
So they had
they were in
long,
Brazil.
Right, they were in Brazil, so that was one home game for them. But they've only played in Philly twice out of 7 games this year.
Yeah, they
Which
lost
means
to the
what?
Falcons. And
They've
they
got a
beat
lot
the
of home
Browns.
games coming up
Exactly.
down the stretch here. Are you having trouble with your internet, by the way?
I am.
All right, I was just making sure if it was just me.
That's so
All right,
random.
Chris in Mill. Well, it's weird. I'm only having trouble with one website.
ESPN.
Yeah. Every other website's working. Chris in Millville says, every game seems like Mitchell, Dean, and Carter are always making plays.
I'm still out on Bryce Huff. I mean, I'm still out on him.
I would not say that Huff is on the top of my list of people who helped out yesterday.
Dean played great.
Nolan Smith played well for 2 straight weeks now.
Well, this guy wrote Mitchell, Dean, and Carter. I would add in Cooper DeJean. This guy said it seems like Mitchell, Dean, and Carter are always making plays. Cooper DeJean, to me, makes the play of the game yesterday.
There it is.
Was that the play you were going to say?
That's the play.
That's the play yesterday. That's the play. I mean, Cooper DeJean, if you remember this play, they've got Jamar Chase going in motion, and he goes halfway, then he stops, and he goes back, and then he comes back. They're trying to get Cooper DeJean kind of lost in the sauce back there. They get him out in the flat, wide open, and they're doing what I talk about all the time, is what? Get one-on-one and make people miss. Make people miss because nobody can tackle in this league. If I have Jamar Chase one-on-one in the open field, I feel pretty good about that, right, if I'm Cincinnati. And Cooper DeJean makes the play of the game because at that moment,
it's 24-17.
At that moment, right, at that moment when he makes that tackle, the after the Eagles get that stop there, it's 4th and 1. They end up scoring. They get a field goal. It's a 49-yard field goal by Jake Elliott. It makes it a 2-score game now, and it's the first time they were able to kind of, they get the big stop, and then they get the points, and they get a 2-score game, and it's the first time that defense made that big stop in the game where you're like, all right, here we go. Well, now let's hand it over to this offense and see if now you would like 6 there, but you get the 3, and at least because after they don't get the 4th down, you got pretty good field position. You only end up getting a 3, but it turns it into a 2-score game. That's where that play, that Cooper DeJean play, I think was really, really a difference maker. And it all ties into what we're talking about is having him out there allows you to do more things. It gives you a guy that they can move all over the field. And you have a guy like that can run back and forth with Jamar Chase Think about that. Jamar Chase is one of the elite players in this league, and Cooper DeJean is running around with them and then tackling him in the open field. I thought that was the play of the game.
Which
Mike,
in hindsight probably wasn't a good decision by Zach Taylor to go for it there. That was probably a desperate call there.
well, they're trying to get the momentum back.
They probably should have punted it and taken the field position.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's hindsight.
I don't know. 4th and 1. You're down a score. The
Late
game
in the
is late in the third quarter.
basically.
It's not like the game. It's not like there's 5 minutes left in the game here. I don't know. I agree. I don't know that was the right move there. Mike Clarence from Delaware chimes in. Best game across the board all year long. Thank you, Clarence. I would probably agree that. I mean, the game against the Giants was more dominant, but because of the opponent,
It's still
and you're
Daniel
on the
Jones.
road,
Right.
And a place you've never won.
Yeah. Whiteout circumstances.
Hey, Mike, great win yesterday. Started slow as usual. Both offense and defense really picked it up in the second half. Love what we're seeing from our young defensive players. Mitchell and DeJean are really looking good. Hurts look good, not perfect, but good enough to win yesterday. Hopefully he can keep building on this win. Zach and Mays Landing. Yeah, I mean, I look, the young defensive players, I think you bring up a good point, Zach, is that the young defensive players are now kind of coming into their own. They're getting more comfortable with their roles. They're getting more confident in the scheme. You got to remember, a lot of these guys have run a variation of this scheme. These guys, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, they are new to this scheme. And now you could tell that they're processing things faster. And you saw it in the game yesterday.
Mike, I wanted to bring up, because I think this is important, since the bye week, Cooper DeJean has started every game in nickel. During that streak, the Eagles' defense is now allowed only 29 points over the last 3 games. Their defense has taken a huge turn since that bye week and since DeJean was inserted into the starting lineup.
All right, so are we ready to give Nick Sirianni some credit? As Chris Long talked about in the open there, that he had them prepared, that they made some adjustments, that this team looked like a team yesterday that was the better prepared football team.
I do think the bye came at like the exact time that it needed to come. It was the perfect time for that bye week.
Well, you might not be saying that 6 weeks from now when they needed a break. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, you're right. For where they are now, that bye seemed to help them out. They had some injury problems. Like, if they would have had to play another game without A.J. Brown or without Devontae Smith, that would have been a problem for them. But to get that bye when those two guys were hurt and probably wouldn't have played in some of those, that early week bye, whatever they had, week 4, 5, 6 bye.
Tampa game was, yeah,
they had to play that game without those guys, and then they end up having to bye. And after that game with the bye against, I think if they play, I don't know, Atlanta's turned into a decent team.
It's funny now, if they play Tampa now,
yeah,
Eagles are healthy and Tampa's not.
Correct.
They're missing Evans and Godwin. So
Phil checks in. He says, Mike, a fantastic overall game. They looked in sync, impressed with both sides of the ball. It seems as if the players are finally adopting the new coordinators after week. Thoughts? Yeah, I Phil, that would be my messaging is, it's like anything. You're learning something new, and when you have to think before you process or think before you do, there's a split-second delay, and that split second hurts. Now these guys aren't thinking as much. The first couple of weeks, you see guys thinking. You see, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? And there's lack of faith or lack of confidence in what they're supposed to do. Now they have confidence in what they're supposed to do, and I think that, is translating to – because, look, quite frankly, I think a lot of people were worried about Joe Burrow getting the ball out of his hands quickly and spreading it around and going up and down the field with chunks of yards.
And that's
they only had 1 sack. So, they didn't get the pressure that we've been used to seeing the last couple weeks.
And they still won.
They still won. They got 2 turnovers. So that was good.
Phil goes on to say, Hurts in the offense was great, even with a patchwork offensive line. Tackling was good. DeJean and Mitchell are the real deal. Awesome to see rookie step up. Those 2 guys, Cooper and Mitchell, I would put them at the top of the list at why this defense feels better.
So now Slay's injured, right? He's got a hurt groin. He might miss some time. So are you okay with Rodgers, Cooper, and Mitchell?
Rodgers made a nice play on that interception, by the way.
He did. So they do have depth at that spot now.
And that's another thing is that Slay went out. Now he seemingly has gotten hurt like each of the last 3 weeks, but yeah, they have a little bit of depth there. Mike, the play Cooper DeJean made in the field, open tackle, 4th down to stop the Bengals. Matt and Kate May, that's the play of the game. Yes, Mike, are you okay if the Eagles become a run the ball and play defense kind of team? I don't have a problem with that. I don't know that I just think they should be a balanced team. I think this should be a balance because they can run and they can throw. Like, they don't have to be one or the other. They should be an offense that you don't have an answer for. That's what their offense should be.
But what revs the engine? Where does it start with? To me, it starts with Saquon. Maybe it starts with Jalen or the D. But
Saquon didn't have a great game yesterday.
He didn't in the first half. No, he did not. But I think in the second half, he kind of turned it on.
Yeah.
But to me, it all starts with Saquon. Every game. And in the second half, they got under center. They got Van Sumeren out there again. So
the under center thing, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good point. And Jalen Hurts actually talked about it after the game yesterday. Josh, do you have that bite from Jalen Hurts talking about because you're right. That I think, and I've been talking about this for weeks, is why I think the offense is limiting itself by not going under center more. Here's what Jalen Hurts had to say about that after the game.
I think when you're able to be the imposer, I think that says a lot about what you are offensively. There are multiple ways to impose, right? You can do that from the gun. You can do that in the pass game. You can do that in the run game, the action game, whatever it is, as long as you're in full control. And so I think that's more so of a mentality that we're trying to develop.
So I think what he's saying is, yes, that does give us more looks. It gives us another look, but what we can do out of that, because of who Barkley is, that's what my point has been. I don't care. I don't need to be old school, get under it. But if I have Saquon Barkley back there, I have to be able to use him, even if I don't use him. In other words, I have to give the illusion that I'm going to use him, and that's where the play action comes in. If I go under center and act like I'm handing the ball off to Barkley, that will freeze those linebackers. And what did we talk about last week? What did Dan Orlovsky say? Is that the RPO they've had some trouble with because of the illegal man downfield stuff. So how can I get those linebackers out of the middle of the field? I got to act like I'm going to hand the ball off. And that will freeze them just enough for me to be able to go up over top of them. Who did I call for my game ball on Friday's show? Do you remember? Well, I know who it is.
Well, who is it?
Grant Calcaterra.
Well, he had some great catches.
Grant Calcaterra was the guy.
He played better than Goddard in some instances.
Grant Calcaterra, I said, I'm going to go game ball Grant Calcaterra. And it was based on the information that we have been given during the week leading up to this game.
Oh, it wasn't based off of National Tight Ends Day?
I forgot about it. I didn't know that on Friday that this was National Tight End Day.
I think everyone knew about it yesterday. Because
yeah, we know.
Shut up about it.
Now we know. But on Friday's show, after talking to Casey Joyner, after having Ben Baby on, and talking to some other people throughout the week, I surmise that this area of the field, the middle, should be something. Now, I know he doesn't like to go there, but Calcaterra had 3 catches for 58 yards yesterday. That's almost 20 yards per catch. I thought that he was a difference maker in the pass game, but a lot of that is based on the situation of holding those linebackers and getting behind them there. That was a big spot, a big weapon in the game, Grant Calcaterra as well. All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, streaming live video on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. Subscribe, follow us, like, rate, watch. Make sure you download the free mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. Stop out to the great Fanatics Sportsbook. Every Monday we're live here. They got World Series Game 3 tonight. They got Monday Night Football tonight. Big weekend. Man, Sunday, did you go Sixers? Did you go Eagles at 1?
Yep.
Sixers right after, and then Flyers last night?
Flyers got no time. I'm sorry.
You could have had a whole day.
It was a great win on Saturday, 7-5. Couturier got the Hattie, but nah.
Nothing last night.
I was going
after the Saturday
Bears.
vibes. You didn't go Sunday I want to see the bounce back.
Nah, that team. Nah.
Well,
I need some time. with
You
that
had
team.
Sixers last night, right after the Eagles game was over, flipped over to
Overtime.
the Sixers, overtime, kind of a knucklehead play there by Martin, but
Maxey had over 40.
and he only had like 10 at third quarter. Yeah,
45.
45 in the game last night. All right, I went to the portal yesterday.
I saw some stuff on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, a little portal.
What country were you visiting?
There's 3 countries. It's Portugal. No, it's Lithuania, Poland, and Ireland.
Okay.
Dublin, Ireland, somewhere in Poland, and somewhere in Lithuanian.
Did you say hi?
Yeah, it was a weird time that we went because it was like 11 o'clock at night in some of those places.
Oh, right.
So there wasn't
Yeah,
a lot
time
of people
change.
on the streets there.
Right.
All right, we got plenty more. Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. What's the play that changed the game yesterday? We'll talk about that with Mike. Next, we got Grayson Scrades at 3, Sirianni talking at 3:30. Tonight, McMullen at 5. We're just getting started right here at the Fanatic Sportsbook on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
It's the time of year for killer deals. You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Get to Matt Black Kia today. Buried in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released and treat yourself to 0 down, 0 payments until next year, even 0% up to 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Black Kia in stock. You won't need a costume to get a brand new Matt Black Kia Forte LXS under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999 with any trade. That's less than most used vehicles.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
With approved credit 24 EV9 and 6, $13.88 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payments. Offers can be combined. Visit MattBlackKiaNJ.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Through KMF. Rebates and incentives to deal. Expires 10/31/24. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township. And on Route 37 in Toms River.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bet. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, celebrating football season with special new menu items. The Kelsey Combo, created by number 62 himself, a handcrafted barbecue burger, world-famous crab fries, and an ice-cold garage beer. Our incredible jumbo soft pretzel, Chicky style, with a heaping skillet of our own in-house crab dip, and our delectable sweet heat wings, where a portion of the proceeds go to the A.J. Brown Foundation. Participating locations for a limited time. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Our new menu includes our boneless wing special every Monday. Buy a single order of our mouth-watering boneless wings and get a snack order of boneless wings free. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, it's buy one, get one free snows. Buy any number of delectable snow crab legs and get the same amount free. Plus the Kelsey Combo, tasty buffalo fried shrimp, seafood pasta in our famous Sicilian or red sauce. Participating locations for a limited time. Chickies and Pete's.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn We Match, unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Find the finest fall offers at BMW of Atlantic City. Right now, lease a new 2024 BMW i4 eDrive 40 for $499 a month with $5,679 due at signing. Or lease a new 2025 BMW iX xDrive 50 for $699 a month with $6,419 due at signing, both for 36 months at BMW of Atlantic City. Closer than you think. Located in Egg Harbor Township. Online at bmwatlanticcity.com. Offers expire October 31st. For more details, call 609-316-2393.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Burrow in the gun. Chase in motion. Burrow back. He tries to swing it out to Chase, and he's brought down for a loss by DeJean. DeJean went into the backfield, and the Eagles take over on downs.
Oh, my. What a play by the rookie, Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean, who everything seems to have changed since they inserted him into the lineup, making an incredible play. I always say the play starts when the motion starts. You got Jamar Chase one-on-one in a fourth down situation in a game where if you get a stop, it flips the thing completely. And DeJean, it was like he's covering a pivot route before the play even starts. And then he's knifing to the flat and a very short tackle. This kid's going to be very good for the Eagles.
That was Chris Long on the Green Light Podcast. The play of the game for me is Cooper DeJean. That's a play right there that flips the game. It gives the Eagles the ball back. They get a field goal. They go up 2 scores. And here they are with a third straight win. They win on the road in Cincinnati. They'll come home this week and play the Jaguars. It's time for Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City and PressOfAC.com here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN as we get a look at how this game went down, what it means, and more. And, Mike, that play right there, Cooper DeJean, that's a play that it's a tough one. I mean, he's one-on-one on an island with Jamar Chase, one of the premier players in this league, and he is able to go out there and make that play. I guess that the question becomes is, are we starting to feel that this defense with these young players are now starting to feel more comfortable in this scheme and system? Yeah, I don't know. Do we look at that game yesterday more as a defense? We look more in the takeaway is the offense? Or do we look at this more and say, no, it's just a complete game? Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, pressofac.com. Eagles win. Yeah, you mentioned Hurts. I thought he played maybe the most impactful game that he has played, both with his legs and his throws and the decision-making. He did a great job there, getting Smith involved. Brown had some key plays. Calcaterra had some catches. And it was a game, Mike, where last week we're saying, where's this offense without Saquon Barkley? And yesterday wasn't really a big Saquon Barkley game. Yeah, that's the thing there is, this team, we keep asking, they feel like a 4-2 team. You see 5-2, all of a sudden do we change the narrative of what this team's ceiling is? That's a good point there, Mike. And by the way, I said it didn't feel like a Saquon Barkley game. He still had 22 carries for over 100 yards, but he just didn't have that big breakaway one that you've been kind of almost relying on the last couple of weeks, where he gets that 40-yarder, that 60-yarder. He just kind of had 5 yards here, 3 yards there. But, hey, that's what this offense can be really good at, is having the threat of Barkley, then having the threat of Smith, it was one of the more complete offensive showings there. And I guess I'll ask, this Bengals team, this is not, are they a great team? No, I think they've been disappointing. But this doesn't make you feel like you did after a Cleveland or a Giant game. Yep. Well, and that's the thing. Last week, I think we were having the conversation. The Eagles were not a playoff team. If the playoffs were to start, they were not in the field. So that's how competitive this NFC is and how meaningful to get a road win. Because, Mike, they've only played 2 home games in Philadelphia, which means they are backloaded with home games here, and it looks like it's going to be a very competitive NFC field just to even be a wild card team. Look, that Washington-Philadelphia game, Amazon Prime is getting that on a Thursday night in a couple of weeks. They got to be doing backflips at the way this is setting up right now. Yeah, that's in a couple of weeks. It'll be the Eagles in Washington on a Thursday night, and that could be shaping up as one of the better games here. The other thing is, Mike, you just said it. It's so week to week. And one of the things with the Eagles that I think, they were kind of struggling along is you got rookie players in some key spots, and they're trying to learn on the fly. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, and to some extent Nakobe Dean, who did not play last year with an injury. Some of these younger players for them are starting to be the guys that we're talking about on Mondays. No doubt about it. And by the way, they win the game yesterday offensively with Mailata out and Mekhi Becton. So 2 offensive line starters are down. We tend to forget about that sometimes. We just always take for granted that the Eagles' offensive line is going to figure out a way. But we see so many teams. Look at the Jets. We always say, look, the Jets have Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Aaron Rodgers, and they stink because the line is so bad there is one of the reasons why they stink. Their defense is probably a tad overrated, but you see what the offensive line means to – it's really the difference between good and bad teams in this league. What are you going, World Series or football tonight? All right, big sports night, big sports weekend, a lot of fun. Eagles win, Cowboys lose, Washington. I don't know. What do you take for the Washington? Do you say, man, they needed a Hail Mary to beat the Bears, or do we feel confident enough that Washington is for real 8 weeks in? Who's the bigger bonehead yesterday? The Bears guy celebrating before the game ends, or Anthony Richardson asking out of the game? Mike, if he would have just stayed out of the play, they probably win the game. He's the one that tipped the ball. Unbelievable. All right, Mike McGarry for the Mike. Yeah, man, I can't imagine what kind of day that would be in there. All right, Mike McGarry for the Press of Atlantic City, pressofac.com. Busy weekend, and, of course, more is coming as we're about halfway through the NFL season already. We're going to week number 9 of 18 weeks. It does, man. And I know the high school football season, the playoff pairings are out. You got that happening in your world as well. You got the Sixers underway. The Flyers are underway. The World Series is here. The college football season is coming down the stretch. College basketball starts next week. It's a great time to be in our industry. Mike, I appreciate you as always, pal. Mike's back on Wednesday here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, and streaming live video on the X platform and YouTube at Mike Gill Show. You can subscribe and watch the show live. And don't forget, download the free mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Island. Take the show on the go. When we come back, we got more of your text messages at 609-403-0973, 609-403-0973. We will pile up some more of the text messages. Don't forget, tonight we got World Series Game 3 on 97.3 ESPN.
Ohtani? Are we expecting him in the lineup?
Yeah, I think Ohtani's playing.
Wow.
I think so. I think Dave Roberts said that he would be playing. I think so, yep. That's tonight. We're going to go Game 3 on 97.3 ESPN. More Sports Bash from the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort on 97.3 ESPN.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles host the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 9 of the 2024 season, Sunday afternoon.
And he's brought down for a loss by the team. What a play by the rookie.
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick, with pregame coverage starting at 3 p.m. and kickoff at 4 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Find the finest fall offers at BMW of Atlantic City. Right now, lease a new 2024 BMW i4 eDrive 40 for $499 a month with $5,679 due at signing. Or lease a new 2025 BMW iX xDrive 50 for $699 a month with $6,419 due at signing, both for 36 months at BMW of Atlantic City. Closer than you think. Located in Egg Harbor Township. Online at bmwatlanticcity.com. Offers expire October 31st. For more details, call 609-316-2393.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through November 12th, get Thrillifyingly fast 300 megabit Xfinity internet with unlimited data included for just $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more. Keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen. And see Wicked, only in theaters November 22nd. Restrictions apply. Requires pay plus plan to auto stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Currently $90 a month. Actual speeds vary.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Got a leaky pipe? At Ace Hardware Home Services, they're around the block with everything you need to fix it, including the person to do the fixing. Got an air conditioning issue? They've got a person for that. Because now they're not just the helpful hardware folks, they're also the helpful home services and repair folks. From plumbing to heating and cooling, They've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, now in South Jersey. They're bringing helpful home, the helpful you love from the store, now to your front door. Visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to book your next appointment today.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
With GMF financing to qualify buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette excludes prior sales.
Need a car, truck, or SUV? Great! Get to Bennett Chevy, where you're going to get Bennett's best offers ever. You know Bennett sells new Chevys at the true GM supplier employee price, right? Well, right now, Bennett Chevrolet says, how'd you like to buy your new Chevy and pay $500 below the GM supplier employee price? Yes, $500 less than our employees. Plus, you keep all the rebates. That's up to 15% off the sticker. And with available 0% financing, you'll have incredibly low payments. And if you've got an old car to trade, right now you'll get a minimum $10,000 towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. That's at least $10 grand for total junk. Imagine how much we'll pay for good trades. And wait till you experience Bennett's non-commissioned sales team. Paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend, so they'll make getting all these unbelievable deals even better. Together, let's drive Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Last 2 weeks have been absolutely a perfect example of what you want. A physical offensive line, the offense running through Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts using his legs. They don't need to throw the football more than 20, 25 times a game. This is a physical football team. The strength of the team is their offensive line, which unlocks A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Notice, run the ball, we can hit the Slim Reaper over the top. This is how they have to play.
Booger McFarland, prime time. Now, I feel like I've been hearing that from somebody. The star of this team is the offensive line. Josh, do you remember hearing that during the course of the last couple of weeks?
You said that.
Maybe once or twice or 20 times.
I mean, he's right. The star of this team. And look, this was yesterday with Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen playing. That's not even their full offensive line. You talk about, look, you watch the Jets play. That team is a disaster dumpster fire because their offensive line stinks. And, I mean, if I was to tell you, you get Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall, and Aaron Rodgers, you're going to sign up for that at any moment. You're going to say, I'll take that group of guys, and I will play with that group of guys.
It just shows you how important coaching is in football.
Yeah, you know, I'm interested to see how many people out there think that Nick Sirianni has a hand in why this team is kind of cleaned it up. You know, you're not going to be great every week. You got new players coming in. You got to learn their personalities. You got to learn their strengths. You got to learn their weaknesses. And the only way you do that is really by trial and error. You know, when you play games, some guys are game players. Some guys are practice players. Some guys are good in practice. They're not good in games. But you have to be able to see what a guy can handle in a game. What can you put on this guy's plate, and is he going to be able to handle that when I do it in a game? That is something that I think we take for granted sometimes. And then, look, styles make fights. Matchups make fights. Your roster might not match up well with this team's roster. And that's where you say, hey, listen, we need to do this week against this team. And if you go in with a bad game plan based on what you think you do well and that team doesn't, it's hard to be like, all right, on the fly, we're going to kind of do this, and this to change it. I think the Eagles right now are in a good spot with where they're coming offensively. I think there's more growth in the offense. I do think the offense has more growth in the offense. But I think defensively, They are starting to kind of figure out what they want to be, and I think there's more growth in the defense as well. But what Booger McFarland says is something that I've been preaching for a while. The star of this team is the offensive line, and that allows everybody to be a star.
Game 3 of the World Series on ESPN Radio. Dodgers take care of business at home, winning games 1 and 2. Now the series shifts to New York. Game 3 of the Yankees and Dodgers. Coverage begins today at 7 Eastern, with first pitch at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to the World Series. Game 3 tonight on 97.3 ESPN.
Brought to you by Shore Physicians Group. Be well connected. Visit shorephysiciansgroup.com.
Oh, yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan. New 2024 Nissan Rogue S, 0 down and 2.9% financing for 60 months. But when they're gone, they're gone. Have a trade? Bring it to AJ the Trade Man. He's paying cash, lots of cash, up to 120% more cash than KBB fair market value. Then drive home in your new 2025 Matt Blatt Nissan Kicks. Just $299 per month lease with 0 security deposits. And every new Matt Blatt Nissan comes with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Have a job clearing $450 per week at Matt Blatt Nissan? You're virtually approved today with 0 down and low 2.9% financing. MattBlattNissan.com. Unapproved Tier 1 credit for new Matt. Negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers can't be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. 24 months, 10,000 miles, $27.99 due through NEMAC. PIN RC 738396. MSRP 31,115. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Order for Jennifer C. Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve? Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine? Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Well, I do now. Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Yeah, you just said that. Did you say I just said that? Yeah, I'm cutting you off. Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
If you or someone you know needs help getting through a difficult time, start with NJ211. When you reach out to 211, we can connect you to help with housing, utilities, food, childcare, senior services, income support, healthcare, legal issues, and more. Help is available in over 150 languages, and the service is free, confidential, and available 24/7. Need help? Dial 211, text 898-211, or search nj211.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-791-1313. That's 800-791-1313.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Why would someone looking for a mortgage at the Jersey Shore take a loan from a company in Detroit or North Carolina or some other far-off place? Online mortgages promise a lot, but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
With GMF financing, the qualified buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette excludes prior sales.
Need a car, truck, or SUV? Great! Get to Bennett Chevy, where you're going to get Bennett's best offers ever. You know Bennett sells new Chevys at the true GM supplier employee price, right? Well, right now, Bennett Chevrolet says, how'd you like to buy your new Chevy and pay $500 below the GM supplier employee price? Yes, $500 less than our employees. Plus, you keep all the rebates. That's up to 15% off the a sticker. And with available 0% financing, you'll have incredibly low payments. And if you've got an old car to trade, right now you'll get a minimum $10,000 towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. That's at least $10 grand for total junk. Imagine how much we'll pay for good trades. And wait till you experience Bennett's non-commissioned sales team. Paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. So they'll make getting all these unbelievable deals even better. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Thank God I'm a girl.
Sixers.
Bang! It's good. Ball game.
And Flyers.
Just in front of the net.
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort studio, here's Mike Gill.
You know, I've seen it in training camp. I've seen it with all of the work and all of the time that we put in. It's just a matter of going out there and doing it. And so I'm excited and pleased with how we played as a team, how we played as an offense. And I think Kellen did a really good job today. And, you know, we just all in it together, sticking together and communicating and going out there and trying to play fishing ball.
Jalen Hurts on the growth of this offense. He mentioned Kellen Moore by name, impressed by what he did. Grace's Grades are brought to you by GMS Law. Make the right call. 4 convenient locations to serve you online at gmslaw.com. And this hour of the show, live from the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, is brought to you by Broadleaf's Plumbing and Heating, your trusted source for heating and plumbing service and installation for generations. Online, 609-390-3907. Online at broadleafs.net. We'll get into the grades in just a second. You know, this is an easy report card by most accounts. A lot of A's.
Straight A's.
You go straight A's? You don't have any problems with yesterday?
I'm trying to think. I mean, the one throw Jalen tried to make the Gainwell early in the game, that was almost picked.
It's a little ticky-tack.
That's a ticky-tack. Jalen's shoes, I'm going to give a F to the equipment manager, or whoever was in charge of trying to fix Jalen Hurts' shoes. They had to burn a timeout.
Did you guys see that?
With a Kelly Green right foot and a Midnight Green left foot. I don't know what was going on with that.
Well, they said they couldn't get the knot out of the shoe.
Right. They had to burn a timeout. Then they had just a lazy third down play, and then they kick a field goal.
Did you guys see the jokes online that Kenny Pickett sabotage Hurts' cleats so he gets some playing time?
No. I mean, come on. He had like a blowout or something on the sideline. What would Pickett have to do with any of this?
It was just people were conspiracy theories, yeah.
They were talking on the broadcast that that's like one of those knots where you need to use your teeth. And rip the thing apart and rip it open there. You're trying to get the knot out of the shoe.
You got a 35-second play clock.
If that's the only negative of the whole game yesterday,
that's all I got
I would say, and Grayson's going to join us for Grayson's Grades in a second, the first drive of the game, you felt like, here we go. It felt like that first drive was what you expected to see all day long, that they were going to be able to Joe Burrow and go up and down the field, and that defense that struggles with good quarterbacks.
And the one touchdown that Chase, I guess, had Nolan Smith trying to cover him, right?
Yeah, you had an edge rusher trying to.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't going to work.
No, it wasn't. All right, let's bring Scott Grayson in for Grayson's Grades here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN and get the report card seems to be pretty. This is the one that you want to bring home to mom and dad, right? This is the one you say, look, mom and dad, my college tuition is worth it. You're spending good money. I mean, this was like a straight A type of day.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Mike, I sat there trying to find somebody I could give a B to. And I almost went with a B for Vic Fangio because of that opening drive. And then I'm like, no, wait a minute. You know, they made adjustments off of that opening drive and really, shut them down more or less the rest of the way. I had a hard time finding anything to really be upset about other than the start of the game and another scoreless first quarter. But when you let the opponent have the ball for 10 minutes of the first 15, it's really hard to score in the first quarter. And I think that if that's something they can continue to try to fix, hey, being able to score the second through fourth quarters like they have the last couple of weeks is not nothing.
Well, I guess the question is, we're making a big deal. What's this, 8-9 games now that they haven't scored in the first quarter? Now, everybody was asking me, did they end up scoring in the first quarter? I said, well, they actually kicked a field goal at the start of the second quarter. It was like right early in the second quarter they end up kicking the field goal. But the fact that they didn't score again in the first quarter, is that the is that the biggest problem? And is it even that big of a problem? Do we look at this like I said the other day? Yeah, you want to score in the first quarter. You want to get points on the board, but as long as you're in the game, I mean, that's what it comes down to. They've won 3 games in a row, all 3 without scoring in the first quarter of the game. So I don't know, how important is it? Like if they went on and went the whole season without scoring in the first quarter and ended up, winning the Super Bowl, are we going to look back and say, man, scoring in the first – I mean, yeah, you want them – obviously, if you said, do you want them to score in the first quarter or not score in the first quarter? I guess, Grayson, that would be one thing that you can say, okay, why is this continuing to happen? But is it a big deal? If you're winning the games and you're not scoring early in these games or the first quarter of these games, are we making a bigger deal out of it?
No, I think it's a deal. I don't know that it's a big deal or a huge deal, but it's a deal because this defense, if you watch over the last couple of weeks, to me is built to play with the lead. And if you don't score in the first quarter, it's harder to get that lead early. And the earlier you get the lead, the better your defense will likely play. And I based on the way this defense is designed, that's kind of the read I'm getting on it. And I basically came out of this game feeling like we're starting to get an identity for both sides of the ball here, trying to figure out what this team is going to be. I think we're starting to get a little bit of a better clue on both sides of that. Is it under the microscope right now? Are we making a huge deal out of it? Yeah, because it's kind of embarrassing, frankly. It's kind of embarrassing that you haven't scored 1 point. You haven't gotten a field goal yet in the first quarter, to really help your team get those first points. And I just think this team is much, like 22, when they went to the Super Bowl, they played with the lead. They started to suffocate opponents. And by the time you got in the second half, the opponent was predictable and the defense was able to do what it did yesterday, start taking the ball away and really suffocate you to death. And that's what I see this defense doing. If this offense can get going a little earlier, it would certainly make their job easier.
Yeah, you mentioned Vic Fangio, that you thought about giving him a B. Hey, whether he got an A or a B, do you feel that the defense is still growing, that there's still more room for being a better defense than the one that you're getting right now?
I do, basically because of what I saw on that first drive. I saw too big of a cushion in a lot of those zones that they were running on that first drive. And Joe Burrow's too good of a quarterback. If you're going to give him the area in those zones where those receivers can find the holes, he's going to pick it apart, and that's what he did. He was happy to take it down the field slowly and drain 10 minutes off the clock and finish it with a touchdown. So is there ways this defense can continue to grow? Yeah, and in terms of the trade deadline, I wouldn't be surprised if Howie went out and got some kind of a pass rusher to help that group just a little bit more. I know they had 13 sacks in 2 games over the last 2 before this one, but just one yesterday. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the pieces of this puzzle that could really help a consistent kind of pass rusher that's getting home and blowing up that pocket. I think that's one area where they could continue to grow, as well as getting a feel in the secondary for those zones where they're passing guys off. That, to me, is still a work in progress. But look, I think Vic did a great job of identifying Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean as his linebackers. I think they're playing well. We can look back at the Devin White signing, and you can knock Howie for that. I think it's more credit to those 2 guys for beating him out for that job. And then Cooper DeJean has really played well. I've been excited watching him play. That 4th down stop on Jamar Chase was huge. I mean, that was big. And then Quinyon Mitchell on the outside.
Scott, I thought that was the play of the game, really. I mean, 4th and 1, they get that stop. They end up getting a 2-score lead, and it really put Cincinnati. That's one-on-one with one of the premier players in the league. That's anything you can ask for is, hey, get me one-on-one. You have to make a tackle on Jamar Chase. I'm taking Jamar Chase in that spot almost every time.
Yeah, I would too. I thought it was a great play. And Quinyon Mitchell's really impressed me on the outside very much too. I mean, I think there's a lot of growth these young guys are going to continue to make. And if you take a look at them now versus where they are in January and hopefully late January, I think you're going to see a big difference in growth, and I think the defense will benefit from it.
Yeah, the other guy I want to talk about is Nakobe Dean, and what is he kind of growing into this spot too? Because he's an interesting guy. I mean, early in the year, I mean, run stopping, he looks a little small out there at times, but a couple weeks ago he gets a couple sacks. What is it about Dean that is kind of growing into this role in the defense?
Yeah, Nakobe to me, early in the season, I thought his angles were a little bit bad, and that led to some missed tackles on his part. But he plays with a high motor, which helps compensate for some of what we heard in the past about his lack of size. And the guy tackles hard. I mean, he's growing on me. I'm really seeing a lot of growth here. And the biggest thing that hurt him with his growth to this point was the injuries the last couple of years. So I look at him now, and I say, there's a guy I see growing week to week. He's consistently an 8 to 10 tackle guy a game, it seems. And I think he's being a big part of why this team is doing a good job of helping to stop the run as well as they have. Certainly the offense going up by double digits has helped make opponents a little more one-dimensional in the passing attack. But I think that Kobe Dean's another guy. When you look at him now versus where he is, say, by December, January, growth is going to continue to happen. I feel like he's getting a better feel for this defense, as well as Vic Fangio is getting a better feel for these guys and where to put them. Yeah, I think there's a lot of improvement still to happen.
All right, Scott Grayson's grades are posted after every Eagles game at 97.3 ESPN.com. You can check Scott out on Fox 29, of course, and here on the Sports Bash. The one thing I guess if you were grading the pass rush, they did not get sacks. Does that matter? Did they get enough pressure to pressure Burrow? This is a week where you thought that, hey, this Bengals offensive line is not very good. So where are we? They had 13 sacks in 2 weeks. Do we trust this pass rush yet?
I don't. Not yet. To be consistent, right? Because that's what we're looking for. The 13 sacks in 2 games is great. But I think a more consistent sack game certainly helps. If you can go into every game knowing, hey, they're going to get 3 to 4 of these, today, that would be huge, right? It certainly, it changes the complexion of a drive. You get a sack, suddenly you're getting 3rd and long. Now you're forcing a team to punt. Maybe you're knocking them out of field goal range. That's the one thing I really think this defense is missing from a consistent standpoint. And it's, yes, you're also playing a great quarterback who understands how to avoid pressure a little bit better. Joe Burrow can do that. They just didn't seem to get home as much as I thought they would yesterday. But then the back end really helped pick them up, right? They played well back there. The interception on the deflection from Rodgers to CJ, as well as then the fumble recovery was great to see as well. So I think the secondary and the play of that secondary is partly what allowed them to get those 13 sacks over those 2 games. Those quarterbacks held onto the ball a little bit longer than Burrow did yesterday. And the better quarterbacks are going to know they've got that clock up here. They're not going to hold it that long. So that rush has to get there a little earlier. And that's what I need to see from these guys to really start buying in that it's going to be more of a factor. But that being said, only 1 sack, but I thought that defense played really well.
What do you make? I mean, I know you gave Hurts an A, Smith an A, Brown an A, Barkley an A. I mean, Booger McFarland said something on NFL Primetime, and he said, look, this is who they should be. In other words, his point was the offensive line. It's something I've been saying. Their offensive line is the star of this team. They're a physical team. They can run, but they don't have to run 30 times for 180 yards. The threat of Barkley should open things up for everybody else. And yesterday was the first time you really felt that the offense was multi-dimensional. Not, hey, what's our identity? We're a running team, or no, we're a passing team. This was, we're both. We're both. We could do either one. We get 5 yards of carry. We have the big play to Smith. I thought that was the most balanced and most diverse offense of the season.
Well, and it's, to me, it's not just the big names. It's some of the unsung heroes. Look at what they're doing with Ben Van Zummeren, right? Coming in as a fullback, the linebacker playing fullback, and what it's helping to do for Saquon. Look at Grant Calcaterra, stepping up for Dallas Goedert and what he's provided in the mid-range passing game. Jack Stoll provided the key block on the pass down to Devontae Smith for the touchdown. And then you talk about the offensive line. Don't forget, Fred Johnson is your starting left tackle right now and has been for the last couple of weeks with Mailata down. And Tyler Steen was in there. They're rotating in a couple guys. They're a couple guys deep on this offensive line, and they're still playing that well, which is a credit to the talent they have around them, as well as the job that Saquon Barkley does once he hits a hole. This guy's fun to watch. I mean, and so you talk about identity. To me, yes, they are multiple, but I feel like the threat of the run and what Saquon can do helps open up some of the other stuff. And I like the way that they're starting by kind of establishing Saquon a little bit and then allowing the passing game off of that. And what we're seeing for Jalen Hurts, the formula for him, the 20 passes a game to me is a lot better than 40. If Jalen's going to throw 40 passes, he's probably going to throw at least one pick, maybe two. So 20 passes a game. Yesterday, 14 of 20, only had 6 incompletions. He did a good job with his mental clock that I hadn't seen this season. He got out of the pocket at the right times, ran with the ball well, better than I've seen him do any other game so far this season. That threat of him running the ball, even a little bit like he did yesterday, is going to really help this offense open up even more if he can start doing that a little more consistently. So you couple the unsung heroes, the depth they have on that offensive line and how well it's playing with the talent that's there. And I think we're really starting to see this offense kind of kick it into another gear. And I think they have more they can get, too.
Somewhere music is playing out of nowhere. I got like a whole symphony going on in my head. Are you hearing that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know where it came from, but I don't know what. All right. Well, I don't know where that came from. Anyway, Scott Grayson's with us here. Fox 29. Grayson's grades are at 97.3 ESPN.com. So you take a look at where this team is now, 5-2, big picture. Does the feel about this team all of a sudden change? Do we feel like last week at 4-2, you beat the Giants, you beat the Browns? I felt like most people, a lot of the listeners this week felt like, they're still kind of a middle of the road. Do we put them in a different echelon now, or are they still kind of in that middle of the road?
I look at it like they took a couple steps forward yesterday, but I'm not ready to crown them and say, they're going to New Orleans. It's going to happen. There's still growth that needs to happen with this team. You need to see consistency because that's part of this game as well, week to week. But yesterday was a measuring stick game for me. I went in feeling like, Mike, this game was going to tell us which way that pendulum was going to swing, right? If they didn't play well yesterday or they lost, you start going, okay, well, they were exposed again, and now they got to figure it out. The fact they did what they did and won, not only how they won, not only that they won, but how they won, really showed me that this team is taking strides forward. And by beating that team on the road, a place they had not won as a franchise, which is not nothing, to me is something that you have to say, they're among the better teams in the league. And the win over Green Bay in Brazil is looking bigger and bigger week to week as Green Bay keeps winning. So look, so what it showed me, Mike, is okay. I went in when they were 2-2, and I said these next 4 games were very winnable, ending with the Jaguars game. I figured they'd win at least 3 of those. Said they had to win at least 3 of those. They've won the first 3. They've done that. You really got to finish it, and you got to be careful of a trap game here because now these next 3 games, I say, are huge. Jacksonville, because you don't want to overlook them. Then you got Dallas. You could really help deliver a knockout punch to the Cowboys. Think of that. Here we are barely in November, and you could knock them out. Then you got the Commanders on a short week at home. These next 3 games, to me, could really help define the momentum of the season. So, it's funny how the schedule works out. Now you look at it here, and I say, okay, these next 3 games, this team needs to show me they can take another couple steps forward, beat these teams that they should beat, like the Jaguars and the Cowboys. That game is now a game you have to win. And then you come home on a short week, and you win that one over the Commanders, and you've now reestablished yourself as the team to beat in the division.
All right, Scott Grayson's grades. Yeah, I would agree. Like the pockets of games, you look at these little quarters, these little 4-packs. This is the last of that last 4 with Jacksonville now on Sunday. And then you're right, Dallas, who obviously lost again last night. And that Washington Thursday night game is now setting up to be a very interesting game. We'll have plenty more, of course, on all of those. And Grayson's grades after every Eagles game over at 97.3 ESPN.com. All right, Grayson, good to catch up with you, man.
Yeah, no problem. Be careful of those demons in your ears.
I don't know where that was coming from. I mean, all of a sudden I just heard a whole band and everything breaking it down here, but good stuff. All right, Grace's Grades are brought to you by GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you online, gmslaw.com. We've got so much more to get into. Did you hit the band button?
That was not me. Nope. Cannot blame that one on me.
No, I didn't think so.
Nope.
I don't know where that came from. Anyway, kind of threw me off for a second there. I was like, wait a second. Is anybody else hearing it? Nobody was reacting. I didn't know if anybody else was hearing it but me. We got so much more to go, including football at 4 with Jeff Mosher today, John McMullen tonight at 5 o'clock.
And Buzzcut Nick is speaking right now, isn't he?
We're going to have Nick Sirianni coming up on the other side, the Sports Bash live. Nick Sirianni's day after press conference is only on 97.3 ESPN.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small. Can't wake up without it. Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
With GM financing to qualified buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette excludes prior sales.
Need a car, truck, or SUV? Great! Get to Bennett Chevy, where you're going to get Bennett's best offers ever. You know Bennett sells new Chevys at the true GM supplier employee price, right? Well, right now, Bennett Chevrolet says, how'd you like to buy your new Chevy and pay $500 below the GM supplier employee price? Yes, $500 less than our employees. Plus, you keep all the rebates. That's up to 15% off the sticker. And with available 0% financing, you'll have incredibly low payments. And if you've got an old car to trade, right now you'll get a minimum $10,000 towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. That's at least $10,000 for total junk. Imagine how much we'll pay for good trades. And wait till you experience Bennett's non-commissioned sales team. Paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. So they'll make getting all these unbelievable deals even better. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? Because I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with last chance Halloween deals. Looks like Mom's got the old pumpkin bucket stocked with the best candy, starting at $5.99.
Lucky pumpkin bucket. Oh, there's Dad party planning with a same-day delivery order.
Yes, it's a BOGO 50% off pizza party with Target Circle. Plus, buy 3, save 40% on soda 12 packs. Get Target Circle.
Nice saves, Dad.
Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Need it last minute? Get same-day delivery with Target Circle 360. Restrictions apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
With Cybersecurity Awareness Month winding down, LifeLock wants to remind you to update your software. These updates are used to patch up security issues that identity thieves can exploit to gain access to your personal info. But for comprehensive identity theft protection, there's LifeLock. LifeLock alerts you to more uses of your personal info and fixes identity theft issues that arise. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use my name as your promo code, Clay.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatics Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Never thought this radio stunt would catch on so big.
On 97.3 ESPN.
All right, welcome back. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. It's brought to you this hour by Broadleaf's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing, service, and installation for generations. 609-390-3907, online, broadleafs.net. We got plenty more to go, including football at 4. We're going to have the Nick Sirianni Day After Presser, as we do every Monday. Who gets the credit is sponsored by South Jersey Federal Credit Union. Make the switch and bank with your only community credit union. Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union offers some of the lowest loan rates around, including refinancing. Learn more at jerseyshorefcu.org. Who gets the credit? You can pick a myriad of different people. I mean, you can go with Jalen Hurts. You can go with Devontae Smith, made a great play. You can go with, I don't know, who else would you like to pick? I'm going to go with Cooper DeJean, though. He gets the credit for me. That tackle is the difference maker, right?
Yeah, I mean, at that point of the game, certainly. But I would go with Jalen.
You going Jalen Hurts?
I go Jalen, yeah.
All right, we'll get to Sirianni in a second. Let me just, real quick, a couple text messages. Somebody said that tackle seemed like a defensive play of the whole season. It had that feel about it. You going that far?
I mean, to this point, 7 games in, yeah.
Wow.
I can't think of another one.
That play there, it's
24-17, 30 seconds left to go in the third
By the way,
quarter.
they scored on 6 straight possessions.
They did.
Yeah, not touchdowns, but they got points on 6 straight possessions. All right, let's go to the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. After his team wins their 3rd straight, they are 5-2 as they get ready for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's head coach Nick Sirianni.
Hey, Nick. Good afternoon. I know some of it's probably game flow a little bit, but we've seen an uptick in under center usage over the last couple of weeks. Why is that, and what are the benefits of it for you guys?
Yeah, just a little bit of that is just the way the game is played out, and different situations that happen in the game. I think we've had some big leads here the last couple of weeks that probably make that number balloon even more. But it's good to just be multiple and some different things, but still do what you do well. And I think we've had a lot of success being in the gun, and also can have some success here under center. Different personnel groupings give you some different under center opportunities as well. And so, yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything.
We'll go to Jeff and then John.
Hey, Nick. Jalen used the term that the offense was kind of trending forward, but not quite there yet, and still putting pieces together. Where do you think the offense is in its evolution right now, and what are some of the things you think still need a little bit of work?
Yeah, I think it's trending forward for sure. Like Jalen said, we've had a nice last couple games, where we've had some production, and yeah, I think you're always a work in progress, and you're always working on continuing to figure out things that you do well, and continuing to repeat those things. And so I think it's just I think the things change week to week. Again, we talk a lot about our identity being tough and being physical and playing with high detail and playing together as a team. I think scheme things change week in, week out based off of a lot of different things. And so I think that's just constantly evolving and constantly taking different shapes and different forms.
We'll go to John and then Chris.
Hey, Nick. You kind of mentioned yesterday more than identity, you were mentioning habits a lot. Do you get like a sense that the team is where you want them habit-wise, or is that like a constantly evolving process?
Yeah, I think that's constant. It's constantly evolving. You're trying to establish your habits each and every day, and go through your process each and every day. And I think what we know, or I know we know, is that you are going to be what your habits are. If you work hard on tackling, and you work hard on catching the football, then you're going to succeed at those. You have a better chance of succeeding at those things. And so we just want our habits to reflect, with the way we play, with our effort, and to look like that in practice, the way we look with our physicality, the way we look like with our detail. And so those are the things that we're talking about, is the habits that you create. We feel like you're going to play how you practice. And so how important practice is for us. And so we're just trying to your culture is what your habits are. And so we're just trying to be our habits each and every week.
We'll go to Chris and then Martin.
Afternoon, Nick. When you're looking at Quinion and Cooper, why have they been so successful this early in their careers? And did you guys expect them to have this significant roles this early?
Again, when you draft guys, you have high expectations for every guy that you draft. But things kind of play out as camp continues on. And I think these guys have given us confidence in them since the day they've gotten here. I know Coop had a setback with his injury. But as he was able to go, they've given us confidence in him. And so I think that, it's not a surprise to us, because we see it every day at practice of who these guys are. And so excited about where they are, excited about where they're going. They got to keep working every day. We know we're only as good as our next game, which is the next one coming up against Jacksonville. But excited about their skill set and who they are. I think these guys are ultra competitive. The moment's not too big for them. They're going against one of the best wide receivers in the NFL yesterday, and they didn't blink. Got a lot of respect for who they are and how they work.
We'll go to Martin and then EJ.
Hey, Nick. One of the things Jalen mentioned yesterday in regards to Devontae, having the one catch for -2 yards against the Giants, was there are a lot of mouths to feed. And then for Devontae to come back like he did yesterday, what kind of sacrifice does it take on guys like Devontae, AJ, Saquon, even Jalen, knowing that, this week, a particular week, might not be their week as far as touches are concerned, and to kind of like accept that and to appreciate that?
I think first and foremost, every week we go into every game plan like, how are we going to get these guys the ball? And so you won't really know that it's not going to be your week until the game's going on and the flow of the game happens. And you might not, and even then, like, you might need a big play as the game continues on. So sometimes you don't even know that the week's going to play out like that until the game's over. And then you have some ideas of how they might double guys at certain spots and this and that. And so I think, that's the first thing. Like you don't know as the week leads up, and so everyone's preparing the way they are. But then I think it takes great selflessness. Being a team, right, is fighting for each other, is celebrating together, being selfless, and understanding that sometimes it's not going to be your turn that week. And all that matters is that we win. Like, I think what Devontae, talking about Devontae, like he changed the game other ways last week against the Giants. It just wasn't when he was catching the football, and then he's able to come out and change the game, with the ball in his hands this week. I just think it says a lot about our guys and their selflessness of being able to roll with the punches and play the next play and know, there's going to be some times like that. I think, it was nice to get Devontae the game that he had yesterday, and I think it showed up in many ways, right? You saw him make an unbelievable touchdown catch with in traffic on a jump ball. Jalen put a great ball on him. We had great protection, and Smitty went up and got it. And then I love the third down conversion by Devontae on the little sideline pass there that Jalen put out there for him. And then, Devontae, I showed this in the team meeting today, Devontae lowering his shoulder and getting the extra yards needed. You don't see that a lot with, a guy who's on the sideline. You see a lot of guys will step out of bounds, but Devontae's so tough. And the reason I say that is because he is so physically tough, but he's mentally tough too. And there are ebbs and flows of the season. You're going to have wins. You're going to have losses. How do you respond? You're going to have games where you have no catches. You're going to have games where you have, however many you had yesterday, 6 for 86. And so, that takes mental toughness to understand that. And he's not only physically tough, but mentally tough. And all those guys have to be in that same boat with him, and they are.
Thanks. We'll go to EJ and then Zach.
Hey, Nick. I was curious with some of the wrinkles that you guys have added to the run game in the last couple of weeks. Like, what's it been like behind the scenes with the coaching staff, especially like Kellen and Stout, I guess, coming up with some of those things and kind of like collaborating to come up with those concepts?
Yeah, I just always think about a game plan week of how that goes and how much work it takes to get to that spot, right? If first it takes the quality control coaches and the assistant position coaches and the position coaches coming up with, breaking down the tape and organizing the tape. So, and then it gets to the whole staff where they're all, everyone's sitting in there and talking about what's the best way to attack. So it truly is just like this game, a true team game where it takes all parts to, come up with a plan. And, some guys have specialties, hey, you're in charge of the red zone, you're in charge of the third down to kind of put that stuff together. So, yeah, it's exciting because, we play the greatest team sport there is, and that doesn't stop on the field, right? That's down to, every part of this building and all all the things that go on to, shoot, all the PR guys and Bob and his staff that have helped me get ready for this interview and the next one. I think 10 interviews probably this week. So just to get ready for all those. But so it's like that, I know you asked about Kellen Stout and the offensive staff, and it's like that with the offensive staff. It's like that with the defensive staff. It's like that with Howie and his staff, and then Howie's staff intertwining with the coaching staff. And so it's just an ultimate team game in every aspect.
We'll go to Zach and then Ruben.
Hey, good afternoon, Nick. Speaking of Howie's staff, if you look at your trade deadline history, there's been mixed results there. How does that affect the way you view the trade deadline, number one? And number two, what sense do you have of the necessity for external fortifications here?
Yeah, I love the team that we have, and I think this team's really coming together. With that being said, I know, we're always looking for ways to improve our team, and I know Howie's one of the best at that, of always looking at ways that he can improve the football team, and I admire that and value that of how he goes to work there. And but like I said, love the guys that we have. I think we're coming together really nicely as a team, but we'll see how this next week plays out.
And yeah, the first part of the question, as far as your history with midseason acquisitions, how does that affect the way you look at it?
Yeah, each year's different. Each year's, again, like I said, every way we can make the team better, I'm always up for that.
We'll go to Ruben and then Bo.
Hey, Nick. I want to ask you about Grant Calcaterra and some of the big plays he's made. He's only got 12 catches, but I think 6 of them are for 19 yards or more. What is it about Grant that gives him the ability to turn in those big plays?
Yeah, Grant's got a great feel of how to run routes and how to get open at the top of the route. I think he's really, I think he's got good quickness to get in and out of breaks and create separation. And then I think he's got really good hands to finish the catch. And then I think he's sneaky. He's been around Dallas for so long and sees how Dallas finishes with the ball in his hands. And I think what we've seen from Grant is that ability to get the ball in his hands and kind of finish the run. I think about the one he had against Cleveland where we got the ball to him in the flat and he went for 30+ yards on that one. And so he's tough to bring down, and he plays nasty, he plays physical. He's a tough guy, and he's really done a nice job. I think there's, in any season there's going to be injuries that happen. And our guys, from Fred to Grant to Isaiah to Tyler Steen, they've done such a nice job of stepping in and being able to, give us opportunities to win and have a chance to win. And Grant's right there at the top of the list.
We'll go to Bo and then Jimmy.
Hey, Nick, I don't want to get you in trouble here. So the Tyler Steen penalty for after the whistle, if somebody had the opinion that maybe the ref should have blown that whistle earlier and that was the real reason for that happening, would somebody be onto something?
I went in there today and kind of talked through that and kind of reestablish what the rule is there. One thing we really pride ourselves in is those extra yards we get when we push the pile. So you preach everyone running to the football, and everyone hustling the football. So if anything happens, like the ball comes on the ground, they're there for that. But also to be able to push the pile and get the extra yards. And you saw it against the Giants last week where Saquon had the ball and was probably stopped at about the 2-yard line, but everyone got behind him and pushed the pile into the end zone. And, we scored a touchdown off of it. And that's happened a bunch. We talk about that a lot. And our guys play so hard, and their effort is what it is. And it's, and we have benefits because of our guys and the way they play and how hard they play. So now the rule is that I can be, if I'm right behind you, I can get in there and push. But if I'm building up a head of steam, right? If I'm building up a head of steam and putting my back into the pile, that's what they don't want. And so, I get why they called that. I know why they called that. I know why Tyler was trying to get up there and push him further because we praised that. And to be honest with you, Bo, like sometimes you're like, do I want him to blow the whistle? I didn't want him to blow the whistle. It's sometimes yes, sometimes no. I didn't want him to blow the whistle in the Giants game because we were able to push the pile forward to get the touchdown. Had I been able to tell that we were going to get a penalty for that, I would rather him blow the whistle there. You know, so
well, it's similar to the play where Devontae got hurt the first time.
Yeah, that was just to me that was a little different because it was just Devontae and that guy going backwards, and this one was a little bit more of a scrum in the pile. I saw him as different. I didn't think of it that way, and I saw him as a little bit different as you say that. But yeah. So did I get what you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to Jimmy and then Olivia.
Hey, Nick. Zach stole my trade deadline question, but I have another maybe unimportant one for you. Just out of curiosity, when you had pulled all your, not all of your, but most of your offensive line starters and the rest of the starters late in the game and left Jalen in, I'm just curious why not pull Jalen as well.
Yeah, I knew we were handing the ball off right there. I just wanted to make sure we were securing the snap right there. as you could see, like there was the first play of their drive where they fumbled. And so we were kind of pulling them one by one right there. And, you know, as the drive continued, we just, you know, Jalen was going to stay in, and because, you know, him and Cam, and you always want that quarterback center exchange. I just thought it was important there for that to happen. And, you know, we weren't going to put Jalen at risk at that point. He was just going to hand the ball off.
Okay, thanks. We'll finish with Olivia here.
Hey, Nick. Slay said on his podcast today that he was getting an MRI in the morning. I'm assuming that means he was getting an MRI today. But regardless, what is the latest on his health? And if he isn't ready to go this week, what have you seen from Isaiah Rodgers kind of behind the scenes in his preparation that made, you know, a big moment like yesterday possible for him?
Sure. Yeah. You know, we'll see on Slay. We got a lot of time before we play the next game, and he's a heck of a player. He played a good game yesterday. We hope he's back. You know, Isaiah, to answer your question on Isaiah, I was able to spend the year 2020 with Isaiah and saw how special of a player he was when we were in Indy together. You know, his speed, his quickness, his knack for the football, and his work ethic of how we constantly trying to work to get better. And, you know, since he stepped foot in this building, and we've been on the practice field with him, all we've seen him do is make plays and do things that we're glad we have him. And again, he gets to go against AJ and Devontae so often that, you know, that helps him get better. But he has a unique skill set as far as his speed, his quickness, and then combine that with the way he works each and every day at practice to get better. And that's why we have faith in him. And he's tough. I mean, he's got great toughness. Like, you know, being able to come back and play after the broken hand and play, you know, then take another shot to the broken hand a couple weeks ago and still come back and continue. Like, he's got great perseverance, great toughness, and he's done that, you know, through his NFL career on and off the field.
Thanks. Sirianni, there's closing out the presser today. A couple key moments early in that press conference, you know, talked about under center success. We'll get into that and more with football at 4 coming up here in about 15 minutes on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. As Jeff Mosher will join us today. Sports Bash Live here at the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. And don't forget, this hour of the show brought to you by Broadleaf Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing, installation for generations. Call them at 609-390-3907. Online, broadleaves.net. I'm Mike Gill. We are live here on a Monday. Eagles win 37-17, kind of a decisive win. Second half, they pull away from the Bengals. We'll continue to dive into it. Got your text messages and more coming up on the Sports Bash.
Game 3 of the World Series on ESPN Radio. Take care of business at home, winning games 1 and 2. Now the series shifts to New York. Game 3 of the Yankees and Dodgers. Coverage begins today at 7 Eastern, with first pitch at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to the World Series Game 3 tonight on 97.3 ESPN.
Brought to you by Shore Physicians Group. Be well connected. Visit shorephysiciansgroup.com.
I'm Mike Mackler. At Goldenberg Mackler, we represent you, not the insurance companies. When seriously injured in any type of accident, call us. We'll speak with you for free and fight to get you the money you deserve. When injured, make the right call to Goldenberg Mackler.
For the best lawyer, call Goldenberg Mackler, with 4 convenient locations to better serve you. Atlantic City, Northfield, Rio Grande, and Vineland. Call us at 609-344-7131.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money. Unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Is your home ready for the season? Worried about rooms that just won't stay warm this winter? Call Jenkins Plumbing and Heating today to ask about a new energy-efficient system from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning or a Mitsubishi Douglas system. With generous financing options through South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric, plus additional savings through rebates from your local utility companies. Upgrading your system could also help lower your utility bills. Call Jenkins today or visit jenkinsandsons.com.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2. At T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
Monthly bill credits of eligible trade income. Go 5G next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credits stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Oh, yeah, New 2024 Nissan Rogue S, 0 down and 2.9% financing for 60 months. But when they're gone, they're gone. Have a trade? Bring it to AJ the Trade Man. He's paying cash, lots of cash, up to 120% more cash than KBB fair market value. Then drive home in your new 2025 matte black Nissan Kicks. Just $299 per month lease with 0 security deposits. And every new matte black Nissan comes with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Have a job clearing $450 per week at Matte Black Nissan. You're virtually approved today with 0 down and low 2.9% financing. MattBlackNissan.com. Unapproved Tier 1 credit for new Matt. Negative equity will be refinanced if the new vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers can't be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlackNissan.com for complete details. 24 months, 10,000 miles, $27.99 due through NEMAC. PIN RC 738396. MSRP 31,115. It's on at Matt Black Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, welcome back. 352 Fanatic Sportsbook, Ocean Casino. We're going to have a big crowd in here tonight. Yankees and Dodgers Game 3, Giants and Steelers. You got the 2 New York teams in baseball and in football. Got some text messages. Mike, much to John McMullen's chagrin, the Eagles are a better team when they run the football. I don't know about that. I mean,
Johnny Mack getting strays here.
I think not to his chagrin, I think what happened yesterday was you got a balanced attack. They ran the ball, 22 times, I think, for Barkley. They only threw it 20.
Hurts really ran the ball well. He looked like he knew what he was doing with the ball, when to run, when to not.
But I think the point of it is, when you have a lead, you run the ball to run the clock. So, yes, you're a better team when you run the ball. That means you're winning. You throw to get the lead. And, look, they had the big throw early in the game. I guess it wasn't early in the game.
The Smitty throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
this first
made
half.
it 24 17, I think.
That was second half.
Yeah. Well, the first quarter, Cincinnati had the ball for 10 minutes.
Right.
They had the ball for the first 10. It was like a 17-play, 10-minute drive.
Yeah,
It looked like the Tampa game.
The Smith touchdown came late in the third quarter. So.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes left in the third or something, like 2:40 left in the third. It made it 24-17, and then they got the stop on fourth down and then kicked the field goal to go up 27-17, and they just kind of dominated. But I don't think it's to the chagrin. By the way, you know who it's to the chagrin of? Jeffrey Lurie. He's the one that doesn't want them to be a running first.
Right, that's what John keeps saying, is that the owner wants them to be a high-powered passing offense.
Grant Calcaterra has been great in Goddard's absence. Yeah, he was drafted as a pass-catching tight end. He was a great weapon at Oklahoma, and then he had some concussion problems. He retired. He came back. Calcaterra has been really good. Mike, Brandon in Dennisville, great win, but third down defense is atrocious. Giving up a 3rd and 22 is bonkers. I think we win the division, but things like this on top of our painfully slow starts on offense will kill us in the playoffs. Side note, please run Saquon on 3rd and 1. The tush push is ruining my weekly Saquon TD score bet. Great show, thanks.
Well, you got to go Hurts anytime, TD.
Yeah.
Go Hurts 3 times. 3 times.
I will say the painfully slow start on offense, that's not really their fault. They had the ball for 10 minutes to start that first quarter.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles host the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 9 of the 2024 season, Sunday afternoon.
And he's brought down for a loss by the team. What a play by the rookie.
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick, with pregame coverage starting at 3 p.m. and kickoff at 4 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Prices are tumbling down during the Fall Into Savings event at Boardwalk Honda. Get fantastic fall pricing on our entire lineup of new Hondas. Right now, lease a new 2024 Honda Prologue for only $189 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Honda CR-V LX for just $269 a month, both for 36 months. And remember, from Maine to Miami, nobody beats a Boardwalk deal. Visit HondaBoardwalk.com for low lease payments.
Toll free 484-246-6754 for more details.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-704-9936. 800-704-9936. 800-704-9936.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit CalviElectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Fall into savings. Sage Jewelers, the real jeweler, is offering the latest in diamond jewelry.
Sage Jewelers has GIA diamonds and the most exquisite diamond engagement rings. Come see the selection of lab-grown diamond and fashion jewelry, all up to 40% off. Plus, the Sage Jewelers watch selection is second to none.
Sage Jewelers expert jewelers can also customize anything.
Sage Jewelers, your fall into savings headquarters, all up to 40% off on Tilton Road in Northfield.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money, unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. 97.3 ESPN presents The Sports Bash with Mike Gill. It's time for Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast.
Just hungry to bring back another Lombardi to Philly. The fans deserve it. Our team deserves it. Culture begs for it.
Now live, this is Football at 4.
Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast is with us today here on the Sports Bash as we get you ready for another edition of Football at 4 as the Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals, probably their most impressive complete win in a long time, Moshe. I don't remember. I guess you go back to the Miami game last year. They kind of dominated that game all the way, but this one was close, 24-17. They get that stop on fourth down. They get the field goal to open it up. They scored on 6 straight possessions. There was a lot of takeaways from this one, so let's bring Jeff Mosher in from the Inside the Birds podcast and get his thoughts here on the Sports Bash. What's up, Moshe? Well, it feels all right, man. You see a win where it's kind of a complete win, right? Like you would describe that game as maybe balanced offense. They ran it very well. They had some big plays in the pass game. They were efficient in the pass game. And then you take a look at the defense. I mean, they made some key plays in the defense. It was just an overall very well-rounded win. Well, let's go back to the first quarter where they had the ball for 10 minutes and you felt like, here we go again, another good quarterback against this defense that just kind of bang, 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 works its way. They had a 17-play, 10-minute drive, and it was kind of like the easy button. Oh, that seemed pretty easy for them, and it felt like that was what was going to be the way this game was going to go. And the Eagles, they don't score in the first quarter again, but they don't get the ball really until 2 minutes left. They end up kicking a field goal 10-3. What did the Eagles defense do? What kind of adjustments did they make to not make it so easy for Cincinnati? Because you just said it. They weren't pressuring. They didn't get a whole heck of a lot of, I think they had one sack. So what were they able to do? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Jeff, one of the things today, Jalen Hurts said after the game, the team is trending forward. We're not quite there yet. And Sirianni was asked about that as well. And he says, yeah, we're trending forward. But when you look at this offense 8 weeks in, it's obviously not what we had thought, but was yesterday more of what they want? They threw the ball 20 times. They ran the ball very well, but it wasn't, I don't think you look at that game and say, man, Saquon Barkley had this, because he didn't have that. That's what stands out. When Barkley has that big run, I think that almost stands out more. But yesterday he was almost more efficient. So the way he said we're trending forward, we're not quite there yet, is yesterday more of what they want to be? Well, I want to get into that a little bit more because, we talk about how important that offensive line is. I said before, I think that they need to commit to the offensive line being the star of this team. You look at a team like the Jets, who just simply their season is derailed because their offensive line is so bad, and we can throw out countless other teams that have good skill players, but their line is a mess. And for them to win a game with 2 of their 5 linemen out, I think, again, kind of tells you how important the offensive line is and where Philadelphia's is. You mentioned Hurts. It was probably his most complete game in quite some time, right? I mean, he ran the ball well. He contributed with his legs. He made the throw to Smith. He made some other key throws in that game. He was, for this week, he was probably the star of the offense. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, they beat Cleveland. It's like, well, it's only Cleveland. Well, Cleveland goes out and beats Baltimore. Now, I know the quarterback situation there was a big problem for them, but the Eagles, the one thing that Cleveland was good at is on the defensive side of the ball. Then, of course, the Giant game, you kind of dominate that game. But I think what gets lost in the sauce is this Bengals team is what they are. They're a good team. They're not a great team. They got offensive line problems, which really wasn't an issue in this game for them so much. And you won the game on the road. Again, on the road, they've only played 2 games in Philadelphia this year, and they're 5-2. And it seems that they're kind of growing, knowing that they have a lot of home games still to come. That's where I think this team is kind of growing into something more than what we saw them maybe 2 weeks ago after that Cleveland win. Number two. Yep, he's number 2 active on the road right now behind Andy Reid. Well, yeah, I was going to say, for them to go on the road and win, at back-to-back weeks on the road, too. I mean, obviously, you played the Giants on the road. The Giants are not a great football team. We do know that. But the Giants, like Cleveland, play good defense. Like, that's where they're good. Their problem, Cleveland was with the quarterback. Giants are with the quarterback and their offense in general. The Eagles played against two teams that are not great teams but do have good defenses and pretty much dominated those games. And then this week here, you just said, well, the Bengals offense, it's not great. You put up 37 points in an NFL road game. That's an impressive game for the offense. The one thing, too, I want to get your take on, and I wonder if you guys are going to focus on this more because it was the first question that Nick Sirianni got asked today, and that's about the under-center success that this team had, and it seems that they're going and becoming more committed to that. Why does that change or help the offense in your mind, if at all? Yeah, that's especially when you have a level of running back that you have in Saquon Barkley, the notion that you're under center and you're going to turn around, that tells the other team that, yes, you may, in fact, hand the ball to that guy because he's so good. And that level, we were talking about this probably, with you last week, Moshe, but that whole thing with the RPO and the illegal man downfield and how that might have impacted, what the Eagles like to do in their pass game. If you're under center and you turn around and look like you're going to hand the ball to Barkley, what does that do to the linebackers? Is it makes them freeze. They think that you're going to do it, and there's where you get your opening over the middle behind those linebackers. No, I look forward to that, and make sure you check that out on the Inside the Birds platform, their Patreon page, and, of course, here on the Sports Bash Football at 4. A couple of things on the defense. You mentioned the play Cooper DeJean made. Somebody texted in. He said that felt like a season-changing type of play. It's 4th down and 1. He makes that stop. It's one-on-one. They send Chase in motion, and DeJean is following him. They stop him. They go back. They redirect the motion, and Cooper's following him all over the place. They get him one-on-one space in the open field, which is right now, I mean, that's a win for the receiver almost every time. I mean, nobody can tackle in this league, and let alone trying to tackle Jamar Chase. That play there, you get the stop. You talked about it. That's a turnover, and then you kick the field goal to go up 2 scores. But Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, these 2 young players, what they have added to this defense, and it seems that they're getting more and more comfortable each week. The tackle thing, Moshe, that's the key. A sounder tackler, that's the key there. I know it's Monday. A week from tomorrow is the trade deadline. We have 8 weeks worth of stuff. We'll talk more about it, obviously, as it gets closer. But, edge rusher is always the one thing that seems to come up. Is that something, now watching them, they're 5-2. Do you say, man, Hal, you got to get this team a pass rusher, or do we think they're okay? Mm-hmm. They got the 1 sack from Nolan Smith. That was a little Smith yesterday. Got the sack there. Let me, real quick, before we let you run here. If Slay was out for an extended period of time, we don't know that that's the case. Are you okay with Isaiah Rodgers? Okay. Yeah, I only asked, again, I don't know what Slay's situation is, but is that, like I saw just moments ago, the Rams have given Tre'Davious White permission to look for a trade. We've seen trades happening. Kansas City has added a receiver. Now they've added a linebacker. These teams are now, it's like baseball, man. These teams are starting to make moves. They're saying we need to add to make that run. You wonder if Philadelphia says, look, we got to get more insurance for Slay, or do they like what they have? Do they focus all on a pass rusher here? What is something that they need after 7 weeks or 8 weeks, 7 games? We'll keep our eye on that. The Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. And yes, Orlando Brown, by the way, he did leave the game yesterday, and the Eagles only got 5 quarterback hits in the game, 1 sack by Nolan Smith. Brysoff still nothing yesterday, so he did not have a big impact in the game. We'll see if they look to add a pass rusher. Jeff Mosher from the Inside the Birds podcast, and don't forget their Patreon page, their YouTube channel, and of course, podcast, Inside the Birds. You can get that on all podcasting platforms, and Moshe is back on Wednesday. Adam Kaplan is here tomorrow. Thanks, buddy. All right, Football at 4 powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We're live at Fanatic Sportsbook. What do you got? I would imagine this is the early Yankee Giant crowd.
I think so. And the lineup is out tonight, and Ohtani lead off. Wow.
You get the basically a full bar on a Monday here at the Fanatic Sportsbook. So if you're looking for a place with the guys to come out, hang out, watch the game, maybe throw a couple shackles down on the game. We had a lady today. I mean, she's probably nearing 70, 80, right?
She was wanting to know where
the sportsbook was.
Yes.
She said, "Gentlemen, where's that sportsbook?" I said, "Ma'am, you're standing in it." I'd like to know what bet she placed. Would she have some inside information? You think she does that research?
Maybe so.
God. All right. We got
and by the way, Derek Jeter throwing out the ceremonial first pitch here tonight.
All right. He had to sit down with Aaron Judge. Judge having a rough series.
Jeter should give him some pointers.
All right, Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN. By the way, some news real quick on Joel Embiid and Paul George. And that is coming from Ramona Shelburne, who says, you ready for this, PG?
Yep.
According to Ramona Shelburne, Embiid and George are on their way back. The impression I have, we'll get another update on both their statuses tomorrow. I think they're both pretty close to coming back.
That's good news.
Sixers 1-2. They lost. That was an awful game Friday night against Toronto. Awful.
Right.
And then they win yesterday on the road in Indiana. Indiana's a good team, and they find a way to win that game with Tyrese Maxey, who scores 45 in the win.
Eric Gordon had a great game as well.
Yeah, Gordon, another three-point guy. To me, I can't judge the Sixers at anything without Embiid and now, of course, Paul George. But they got so many new guys on this team. I mean, you forget that some of these guys even signed with this team. And you're like, wait, Eric Gordon's on the – wait.
Reggie Jackson
had a little run. Yabusele's been a nice pickup. Andre Drummond's 17 boards for Drummond the other night. All right. By the way, there's a play, Gershon Yabusele, who we had on the show a couple weeks ago. He got a second chance rebound. His hustle and some of the little things that he's doing, that's going to be something we're going to be talking about, I think, come April this year. I hope anyway. All right, when we come back, it's Knicks Nuggets. Nicky Earnshaw's in the house. Stick around. It's the Sports Bash Live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 1 for you.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Hi, I'm Dan Tracy. I'm a workers' compensation attorney. At Goldenberg Mackler, we've handled thousands of workers' compensation claims over the years. Our experienced attorneys understand the law and will fight to get you the benefits that you deserve. When injured at work, make the right call to Goldenberg Mackler. Call us at 609-344-7131. That's 609-344-7131. Or visit us online at gmslaw.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Hey, I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Heath is a be-in-the-room-with-real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. ¿Vos está pronto? Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
When you experience
for the best. Pick up the phone and call Dennisville Fence.
Hey, South Jersey homeowners, autumn is here and fall season means fence season. Are you dreaming of a new fence or railing but you don't want to break the bank? Our pro tip of the day, install in the fall for big savings. As your exclusive Active Yards dealer, you can choose from our inventory of privacy, decorative, security, and pull fence solutions by Active Yards. No matter what your needs are, we have a high-quality, maintenance-free Active Yard solution that is right for you. Don't miss our install in the fall savings coupled with our no-money-down, interest-free financing so together we can make your dream a reality. So give us a call today or go online to DennisvilleFence.com to request a free estimate and be sure to mention that you want to install in the fall.
Experience, go for the best. Pick up the phone and call Dennisville Fence. 1-800-499-FENCE.
Visit DennisvilleFence.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with last chance Halloween deals. Looks like Mom's got the old pumpkin bucket stocked with the best candy, starting at $5.99.
Lucky pumpkin bucket. Oh, there's Dad party planning with a same-day delivery order.
Yes, it's a BOGO 50% off pizza party with Target Circle. Plus, buy 3, save 40% on soda 12 packs with Target Circle.
Nice saves, Dad.
Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Need it last minute? Get same-day delivery with Target Circle 360. Restrictions apply.
Oh, yeah, it's on. Nissan. If you're currently stuck in a loan or lease, AJ the Trade Man can get you released. Matt Blatt Nissan.com. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. NFL, the Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals 37-17 Sunday, winning 3 in a row and improving to 5-2. Philadelphia scored 20 unanswered points after the Bengals tied the game in the third quarter. Jalen Hurts threw for 236 yards with a touchdown. He also ran for 3 scores. Saquon Barkley had 108 yards rushing. Devontae Smith had a touchdown reception. NHL, the Flyers return to the ice Tuesday in Boston to take on the Bruins. It's a one-game trip for the Flyers, who return home on Thursday to face St. Louis. Philadelphia has lost 6 of their last 7 games, falling Sunday to Montreal 4-3. Travis Sanheim with 2 goals in the loss. NBA, the Sixers defeated Indiana Sunday 118-114 in overtime Sunday, their first win of the season. Tyrese Maxey scored 45 points. Philadelphia hosting Detroit on Wednesday. Game 3 of the World Series tonight in New York. Yankees hosting the Dodgers with LA up 2-0. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
I'm Tahisha Way, New Jersey's Lieutenant Governor, with a message for New Jersey voters. You have 3 voting options in the general election. Vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Vote early, in person Saturday, October 26th through Sunday, November 3rd. Or apply for, complete, and return a mail-in ballot. Whatever you choose, vote by 8 p.m. on Tuesday, November 5th. Details at vote.nj.gov.
From the Towns for New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. Get ready for a warm-up. In fact, the warmest day of the week looks like Halloween, Thursday. I'm not sure if that'll be a trick or a treat, but temperatures will flirt with 80 degrees. We'll see a few clouds tonight. It'll be chilly, jacket weather, but not quite as cold as last night, low 46. Partly sunny tomorrow, high 64. Sun and clouds and 75 Wednesday, 78 Thursday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
New Jersey might be small, but there's a lot of wow packed into this little state. We got your down at the beach wows, your top of the mountain wows, your show-stopping wows, your cork-popping wows. New Jersey, it's one wow after another after another. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him.
when he talks to me.
On 97.3 ESPN.
All right, welcome back. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, streaming live video on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. Use the hashtag SB Live. Hit the subscribe button, like us, leave a comment. It's time for Nick's Nuggets. They're brought to you today, as always, by our friends here at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, where the Yankee Giant crowd is coming in here, Nicky Nuggets. We've got a bunch of people. By the way, I saw you guys having a good time over there with Vince Papale yesterday.
Yeah, it was a great time. Handled all the autographs. He came out, hung out with the locker room yesterday. Oh, he was a great guy. First time I got to meet him, he was fantastic. Mr. Invincible himself. I mean, he was in great shape, great spirits. Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Peachy, were you working with us when Papale and Baldinger crashed our Christmas party?
No.
Yeah, we had a Christmas party one year, and Papale and Baldinger were.
I remember that.
Yeah,
we were at the quarter.
Yeah, we were at a different property here, and we were having the Christmas party, having a couple of coldies, and in comes Mr. Invincible with Brian Baldinger.
Oh, wow. How about that?
I heard a place was jumping yesterday. My buddy texted me yesterday. He was there with the family.
Yeah.
And he said, that they went over. He's like, oh, man, Papale's here. I wish I could have stopped, though. I was up in Philly, actually. I went to the Portal yesterday.
Oh, you got to see the Portal for the first time. Now, what was it like? Was it that cool? Was it, overrated? I don't know.
I would say it's a disappointingly overrated.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a cool concept.
I mean, I think if we wanted a better time.
Okay, so was it crowded? Was there a lot of people there, or?
There was a lot of people on the Philly side,
but
not as many people on the other side because it was like 11 o'clock at night at other areas. You would think they would put it in a spot, though, where there's constant traffic of people.
Yeah, so the other side, you're not really talking to, you're not really waving at anybody or seeing anybody. It's just kind of like, you're staring at nothing.
So every 3 minutes, it changes where it was. Now, there's three places. There's somewhere in Lithuania, someplace in Poland, and Dublin, Ireland. We never saw the Ireland one. I don't know if Ireland wasn't working or what. But the two places, the one in Poland, the one in Lithuania, I mean, they would show us every 3 minutes it changes. And there'd be for 3 minutes where there wouldn't be one person on the screen the whole time.
That's kind of, yeah.
Is it just Philly, or is it, because I know New York had it, right? At one point.
Yeah, New York had it. Now, apparently it's going to move on November 7th to a different spot in the city. I don't know where they're moving it, but it was a decent crowd there yesterday. I would say there was 50 people at least standing there, and then you're just kind of standing there, and, you might see one person walk in, and everyone on our side's like, hey! And then, they wave and just keep on walking. Well, the kid gave us the finger.
Oh, that's good. At least it got a little more entertaining. You got to keep it a little entertaining.
Yeah, he was from Lithuania, some Lithuanian kid. He was doing a TikTok dance or something, and he's doing the dances, and at the end he pointed at us, and we'd be like, eh, and then he gave us the finger and ran off.
People got to take advantage, man.
Yeah.
See, I think that's the best part of it, though. That makes it more interesting and more fun. You're just waving and staring. Yeah, you got to make it more interesting.
Yeah, it's a little weird. You're just kind of because you can't talk to them. You're just kind of waving and I don't know. I guess it's the concept, I guess, is to see cultures of other places,
and not women flashing themselves to.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened multiple times. The one in New York happened in Philly already.
No, it was an American. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's already happened in Philadelphia. It happened in New York. That was one of the first times that was happening in Philadelphia.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah. So I went there yesterday after the game was over. We stopped over at the Portal, and we were up in Philly. We said, we're here. We might as well go check it out. So we stopped and watched it.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. I have to check out the Portal at some point when I frequent in Center City at times. Maybe I'll have a couple of adult beverages.
November 7th.
I don't have much time.
Nope.
That's brutal.
I don't know where they're moving it to, but I think it's staying in Philly.
Yeah, I hope it stays in Philly for a little while and maybe just a different spot. I'll have to check it out at some point.
That's what I think. I think it's moving to a different spot.
Yeah, missed you with Papale in the locker room yesterday. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun. He stayed over the time limit that he needed to be there. He stayed for a while and signed everyone's autographs. It was a great time. All right, I'll get into the Nuggets here for real quick. Nugget number one, we got to talk about Jalen Hurts. He's back, had an 89.7 PFF grade yesterday, Mike Gill, 16 to 25, 264. He looked really, really good overall, passing the ball well. That pass to Devontae Smith, I mean, that was legit. It felt like the Super Bowl Jalen Hurts. The 2022 Hurts yesterday, he comes out, has a big game. And according to Next Gen Stats, that pass traveled a career-long 59.3 yards in the air. He's never thrown a ball in the air that far in his career in the NFL. So he was clicking on all cylinders, and it was really a complete win. You've seen complete wins out of the Eagles the past 2 weeks now, and Jalen was part of that. And you've seen Nick Sirianni kind of quiet down a little bit. He's more measured now after the nonsense he pulled a couple of weeks ago. Maybe they're starting to turn the tide because now the Eagles, it seems like, are ascending, and Jalen Hurts was leading the charge yesterday.
Well, which is interesting because Sirianni's going on this diatribe, how like everybody told him that they wanted him to be, we need you back. We need you to be that guy.
Yeah.
And now he seems a lot more subdued. But, hey, listen, I think Sirianni took a lot of heat a couple of weeks ago, and you got to give him credit. He's got this team ready to play, prepared. They got good game plans the last couple of weeks. They dominated a game on the road against a bad Giants team, which is what you want them to do. Go dominate a bad team on the road. And then I don't want to say they dominated the game yesterday, but they put the game away.
Yeah.
It was a close back and forth, and then they found ways to kind of put that game away by making some plays, getting some key turnovers. So Nick Sirianni, the heat is off for a couple of weeks here. And listen, I was not a big proponent of you got to fire this guy. None of that stuff. I think that's preposterous. This guy, all he does is win. You might not like the aesthetics of victories, but when your winning percentage is where his is, second best of active coaches in the league, all you saying you want Nick Sirianni fired is so that you can complain about somebody else. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I was on the train a couple weeks ago. The thing for me was it wasn't the winning percent. It was the way he acted after that game. That was so unprofessional, and why I was so upset. The Nuggets afterwards, after that game, when he's yelling at the fans after the Cleveland game. Listen, if he's subdued and they continue to win, I'll take it back. I don't want you fired, Nick. If you continue to win like this and you stay subdued, you're not yelling at fans anymore, I'll take it back. I'll eat my words if he continues to do this and puts it together for the next couple of weeks. Because if the Eagles continue to win like this, I mean, the Bengals, listen, they've struggled to start the season. They struggle to start the year every single year. They'll be fine. They're a good team. So I think it was just a good win yesterday by the Eagles. If he continues to be subdued, more going back and being not as loud as he's been in the start of this season, then yeah, I'm okay with Sirianni staying here for a couple more weeks and maybe a couple more years.
Listen, it's not how I hope, and I think that was more the exception than the rule. I think that was a little and I said, look, if that's the case, then you almost have to say he's got to go. Like if he's yelling at the fans and getting into it, like I don't hear you, like just like yesterday. The guy from the Bears, I would almost cut that guy.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Yes, I would cut him immediately. He was a second-round pick just last year. He's been in the league for a couple of years. He doesn't make too much money. He's on a rookie deal. That's something I wouldn't even care where he was drafted. He should be cut after that. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Because he was a second-round pick, that's probably why.
That's probably why he's not. I mean, it's crazy that he's not going to be cut because of that. I mean, that was ridiculous. And I want to get to that in a little bit, but I'll move on to nugget number 2 real quick as we have some time. I want to get into Juan Soto a little bit, Mike, and report from Bob Nightingale that the Philadelphia Phillies, this is according to Nightingale, are expected to strongly pursue him to team up with Boris' client, Bryce Harper. Are we all in on Soto to the Phillies? Would this be a fit for Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the only problem would be left-handed hitter. That's the only thing I could say about this that would not be a great fit. And, by the way, the $600 million price tag, which now you're putting yourself into where you got to sign him for $600+ million. That's the reports anyway. Even if it's $500+ million, what's Bryce Harper going to say? Hey, you're paying a guy more than you're paying me now? Like, what's going on here? Because remember, there were reports about a year ago about Bryce Harper thinking about getting an extension. And we were like, whoa. Like, come on, man. Like, the team lost the World Series. They lose in the championship round the year after, and now you're possibly asking about getting an extension. It just was a bad look. But, look, Soto in the middle of that lineup, you got to figure it out, what you're going to do. The one thing that would be interesting is, remember what Rob Thompson said at the post-press conference at the end of the year, that they might have to think about changing the lineup or doing something there. Is that where maybe you go with a situation where Trey Turner hits leadoff and then you have Soto in the 2-hole, Harper in the 3-hole, maybe Castellanos hits 4, Schwarber hits 5 to kind of, you might have 2 lefties back-to-back, but, hey, sometimes to get a player of that magnitude, you just got to forget, No, listen, I will say this. Juan Soto was on a Padres team that had Machado and Soto and Tatis, and that team didn't beat you. And right now he's on a team that's, yes, they're in the World Series, but quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they got swept or lost in 5. And I don't think that American League field was all that impressive. So getting Juan Soto, I just think, hey, yes, I can play him in left field. I have a left field issue.
Let me ask you this. Are you okay with getting into a bidding war with the 2 New York teams, possibly the Dodgers? I mean, $600 million
I would say
turn into $650 or $675.
Your question is valid, and I'm glad you asked it, because I would say this. I'm not interested in paying anybody $600 million. I don't think anybody's worth that number. Now, you could say Ohtani's a different cat, because if you've seen the ratings for the U.S. market and the Japanese market, more people watch the game. Right, more people watch the game in Japan than watch the game in Philadelphia. And mind you, the game's at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning over there, and more people, 15 million people, watch the game in Japan. The numbers of the advertising, the jerseys, he has made the $700 million back. Is Juan Soto going to bring in $600 million of revenue? Probably over the time that he signed, yes. But performance-wise, Ohtani was historic this year. I don't know that Juan Soto signing a $600 million deal. I put it this way. I know there'll be times of the year where you're saying, this guy's not earning his $600 million paycheck. That would be my concern there.
Yeah, I don't think the Phillies would want to get into a bidding war. I feel like they'll be a team that's in the sweepstakes. They'll put an offer in, but they're not going to go above a certain number, it feels like to me. That's just where I'm at. I mean, they have all these high-value guys anyway. I mean, Turner's getting a lot of money.
What, are they just interested at like their price? Yeah, we'll give you $380 and we're okay with that.
Well, I think it would probably be it would probably start around $550. I don't know if they want to go $6. You know what I mean? Or they stay at $6, and then maybe the Dodgers, the Yankees, they start getting the Mets. They get into a bidding war, and the Phillies are like, oh, we're not moving from this number. I don't think it seems like they might not be real contenders for this because the Mets have a lot of money. The Yankees are really going to want to bring it back, and the Phillies. They have so many guys they already have to pay, and Turner and Harper and Castellanos and all these guys coming into next year. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know if they would get into a bidding war.
Keep this in mind, right? Because you're saying, okay, we're interested in them. Okay, yeah, Bob Nightingale, they're interested. Fine, we're interested. At what number? 400. Okay, I'm interested at 400, even 500. That's not going to be enough. So, you're interested? Yes. Are you realistic? It sounds like no. Number 2, this team, keep in mind, has been to the World Series in 2022. They went back to the playoffs in 2023, and in 2024 they made the playoffs again. The amount of revenue, extra revenue that this team has because of those playoff runs. Remember, this is one of the few teams in the league. They sell out every single game, jerseys, all that stuff. This team's revenue is skyrocketed because of the success. So John Middleton's not an idiot. He knows that he cannot have his team come back the same way because I need a different jersey to sell. Everybody's already got their number 3s. Everybody's already got their favorite player's number. I need a new jersey to display when I come to Citizens Bank Park, and I need to make sure that place is still full. I can't have people start to say, well, I've seen this act already before. I'll buy tickets in the playoffs. So they have the money. You got to capitalize on it now. So do you take that drastic of a move? That's the thing. Do they think he's worth $600 million that he's probably going to get? I would say I don't think he's worth that kind of money, but I think the Phillies might be desperate enough to keep themselves relevant to think about doing it.
Yeah, and what makes him so attractive is his age. He's 25 years old. You get 10 more years of him. He hasn't even technically hit his prime yet, Mike. So, you're getting this guy heading into the prime of his career, the best years of his career, could be waiting for him in a Phillies uniform if you do sign him for the 10, 11, 12-year contract worth $500-600 million. So that's what makes him so attractive and so unique is because of how old he is right now heading into his prime. That's what's going to make him so expensive. So, maybe you have to get into a bidding war. I don't know if they will. we'll see how drastic they want to go and change things off season. But it's going to be fascinating with Soto because he is so unique. He's really the only one that showed up for the Yankees so far in this World Series offensively for the most part. So it's going to this offseason is going to be fascinating to see where he lands.
He's picked a good time to have a good World Series.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the Dodgers are interested, too. That would just be nuts if he goes to the Dodgers and the Dodgers give him all that money.
Well,
all
guess
right.
what? The Dodgers are no dummy. They're seeing what kind of revenue they're getting from paying a guy that kind of money.
Yeah, they would be like, it's definitely worth it. If we could bring him and Ohtani, my goodness. The Dodgers, that would be crazy. All right, nugget number 3. Got to go to something that a couple of things that happened over the weekend. 2 crazy events. All right, so Jaden Daniels throws the Hail Mary pass yesterday. That was absolutely crazy. He saw the corner for the Bears, chirping with the fans, tips, and then ends up tipping it up to a Washington player. Then you also had the Freddie Freeman home run Friday night into Saturday, the walk-off grand slam. Now, I got to ask you, which is more impressive, the walk-off Hail Mary or the walk-off grand slam this past weekend? A lot of walk-offs in 2 different sports, Mike.
Well, I'm going to go walk-off grand slam because at least everybody was participating in the action as opposed to the clown from the Bears who was off on the sideline talking to the fans. In fact, if he would have just stayed on the sidelines, they probably would have won the game because him running back into the play, he tipped the ball right into the guy's hands. It was his play that actually ruined it for them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's the Freddie Grand Slam. The Daniels thing, like the walk-off Hail Mary, it's cool. You'll end the game, but the aura surrounding Freeman, the Kirk Gibson flashback, and for Joe Davis.
Great call by Joe Davis.
By the way, did you guys see
have
this?
that? Yeah.
Did you guys see this? That Kirk Gibson's home run and Freddie Freeman's home run both happened at 8:37 Pacific time.
I did not see
they were
that.
both to right field, were they not?
They were both right field, but they both happened at 8:37 Pacific time, 11:37 in the East. 8:37 was the exact same time that he hit the home run, Kirk Gibson.
That's insane.
11:37 at night on the East Coast.
Yeah. Yep. Were you awake?
I did see that live. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to go to sleep. So we recorded an episode of The Shift right before. We did a little pregame thing before the World Series. And my co-host said he was going to stay up for the whole thing and maybe do a reaction afterwards. He ended up falling asleep, Mike.
Oh.
He fell and missed it. Didn't see it live, saw it the next morning. I was like, that's an atrocity. He'll be hearing about it on the next episode of The Shift. That's for sure.
Freddie Freeman's home run was at 8:37 p.m. Kirk Gibson's home run, you guessed it, 8:37.
You can't write a better script than that. I mean, and they're in Hollywood. They're in Hollywood.
Exact number.
Wow, how about that? All right, that's the final nugget of the day. 3-pack of nuggets for you on this Monday, Mike and Pete.
All right, good stuff.
I got a question here on that Hail Mary. Are you guys rushing 4?
No.
Dropping 50?
I hate when people do that.
Blitz.
Or are you playing straight up D?
No.
Blitz.
I hate when people just kind of give it up and just allow you to throw the ball. There were so many things that happened. The play before was a disaster.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just – and then, by the way, they had the ball on the goal line earlier. They handed it to an offensive lineman.
Oh, that was the refrigerator parry.
Oh, come on.
Brutal.
All right, Nick's Nuggets are brought to you by the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. And that concludes our 4 o'clock hour of the show, which is brought to you by Jersey Cow. Ice cream's a year-round thing. The summer's never ending. It's supposed to be 80 degrees this week. Ice cream is a year-round thing at Jersey Cow in Northfield and in Brigantine. They're open every day from noon till 10 p.m., bringing back popular classics and some new flavors as well. Check out Jersey Cow in Northfield and in Brigantine.
Game 3 of the World Series on ESPN Radio. Dodgers take care of business at home, winning games 1 and 2. Now the series shifts to New York. Game 3 of the Yankees and Dodgers. Coverage begins today at 7 Eastern, with first pitch at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to the World Series Game 3 tonight on 97.3 ESPN.
Brought to you by Shore Physicians Group. Be well connected. Visit shorephysiciansgroup.com.
It's the time of year for killer deals. You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease. and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Get your Matt Blatt Kia today. Buried in a loan or lease? Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and treat yourself to 0 down, 0 payments until next year. Even 0% after 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. You won't need a costume to get a brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999 with any trade. That's less than most used vehicles.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit 24 TV 9 and 6, $13.88 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblattkia.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Group AMF rebate and incentives to deal. Expires 10/31/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township and on Route 37 in Toms River.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-630-9723 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. Call 800-564-9170 now. 800-564-9170. That's 800-564-9170. What do you have to lose? Call 800-564-9170. Again, 800-564-9170.
Tune in to the Bet365 Play of the Day during the Sports Bash with me, Mike Gill, every weekday afternoon at 5:45 on 97.3 ESPN. Made possible by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You can be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
The time for holiday hosting is upon us, so make your second bathroom second to none with HomeDepot.com's best savings of the season. Right now, enjoy up to 40% off select online bath. Find the latest on-trend styles of vanities, faucets, showers, tubs, toilets, and more, all at prices that will let your budget relax right along with you and your beautifully renovated bath. Get up to 40% off select online bath plus free delivery at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see HomeDepot.com/delivery for details.
With GMF financing, the qualified buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette excludes prior sales.
Need a car, truck, or SUV? Great! Get to Bennett Chevy, where you're going to get Bennett's best offers ever. You know Bennett sells new Chevys at the true GM supplier employee price, right? Well, right now, Bennett Chevrolet says, how'd you like to buy your new Chevy and pay $500 below the GM supplier employee price? Yes, $500 less than our employees. Plus, you keep all the rebates. That's up to 15% off the sticker. And with available 0% financing, you'll have incredibly low payments. And if you've got an old car to trade, right now you'll get a minimum $10,000 towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. That's at least 10 grand for total junk. Imagine how much we'll pay for good trades. And wait till you experience Bennett's non-commissioned sales team. Paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend, so they'll make getting all these unbelievable deals even better. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
The future of cool, comfortable sleep is here. Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate Cool Smart Bed. The only smart bed in the world that actively cools and effortlessly adjusts to both of you. Sleep up to 15 degrees cooler on each side. It actively cools to keep you cool and comfortable throughout the night. Save on smart beds now during our fall sale, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? Because I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles. Sixers.
Oh, baby.
And Flyers. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort studio, here's Mike Gill.
I think when you're able to be the imposer, I think that says a lot about what you are offensively. There are multiple ways to impose, right? You can do that from the gun. You can do that in the pass game. You can do that in the run game, the action game, whatever it is, as long as you're in full control. And so I think that's more so of a mentality that we're trying to develop.
Jalen Hurts, after a pretty complete performance from the Eagles, you heard the game right here live on 97.3 ESPN. The Sports Bash is live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. John McMullen is here. He's brought to you by Boardwalk Honda. Shop their lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online, boardwalkhonda.com. As you heard Jalen Hurts there, he was asked a question about being under center more. It was also the first question that Nick Sirianni was asked today. Under center success, and it seemed that yesterday, they ran the ball almost 40 times in the game. They only threw it 20 times in the game, and that's probably, John, one of the more complete wins since back to 2022. I mean, even last year when they had that 10-1 record, this game, they go down, they get back, they get stopped, they took the lead, they get a stop, they kind of pull away. It was one of their more impressive start to finish win, it seemed like. They go down early, okay? It's a 10-play or 17-play, 10-minute drive, and it was like the easy button. I mean, they just went right down, and it was what we thought could happen is, hey, this team get the ball out, quick bang, here you go, trouble covering, and they get into the end zone and score. What were the Eagles able to do defensively to make sure that didn't happen the rest of the game? You also had, the game's 10-10 at half. So, I mean, obviously, this is a close game. It's not a high-scoring offensive game. Where do you think the offense kind of changed? John McMullen, Birds 365, Sports Illustrated. They ran the ball 40 times in the game. I mean, is this who they want to be, John? Are they starting to succumb to that, or is this more because the game was close? You know what I mean? The game was close. It wasn't like they had this big lead the whole time. They went up 24-17. It wasn't really until Cooper, we'll talk more about him and that, but he makes that stop on fourth down, which was a huge play in the game. Did they get a two-score lead? That happened, late in the third quarter. Yeah, pretty much. 39 carries in the game. Some of those, John, by Hurts. I mean, he had a different day running the ball than we've seen normally. He didn't have like a huge, I think it was like 3 yards, 4 yards a carry or something like that, but he definitely added there. They didn't, it was weird too because Barkley had about 5 yards a carry, but he didn't have that game-breaking run, so he didn't feel like, that he had that huge impact on the game. But I think Barkley had just as big of an impact as anybody in the offense. John, Nick was asked today. He said, Jalen had said, we're trending forward. We're not quite there yet. Where do they want this offense to what's the next phase? Well, what would hold them back from being what Detroit? I mean, they have just as much talent, right, as Detroit does. No? Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that comment. I guess the question is, can it be, and why isn't it? I mean, we where is the difference? Where would you say this is where they're better or different, and that the teams look that different? Because if you just basically went, player for player, you would say these teams are pretty comparable, or are we off base on that? On the offensive side of the ball, on offense. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like, it sounds like you're saying, hey, look, if Jalen Hurts can play at a higher level, then yes, they can be comparable. Well, yeah. Was he at one point in 2022? Was he? You asked Nick today about habits, and he said success takes what it takes. And what do you make of that answer? Which I like that answer, by the way. By the way, we're at the Fanatic Sportsbook, and one of the televisions has the highlights of the Lions Titans. Now, the Titans, I wouldn't say, is a very formidable opponent here, but you could see one area where Detroit is very fluid. Their offensive line kicks the crap out of you. I mean, they just beat you up front, and the speed they have. Gibbs is just, I mean, he gets through that hole, and he is gone, but they are physically tough up front, and we saw it in the game against Dallas. They just whipped them. So that's one area where I think the Eagles, they have some offensive line injuries right now, but even at their best, I don't think the line's playing at the same level as that Detroit line. They're just nasty. Mm-hmm. Quick on the defense. I mean, obviously, the Cooper play to me is it's just he's in space one-on-one with a guy you don't want to be out there with, and he just absolutely the confidence he shows in the open field to make that play is the game changer, really. I mean, it's awesome. But him and Mitchell and Dean and Bond, I mean, I think the linebackers really had an underrated good game yesterday, and it feels like a defense, John, that is just, they're figuring out who they are and what the scheme is and what's being asked of them. And it just seems like this is a defense that will continue to grow as these young guys get more comfortable. Yep. Oh, the gap he closed there. The closing speed that he showed to make. I mean, you're talking about Jamar Chase out there, right? I mean, this is that was an eye opener. Yeah, that was an eye opener. No. Well, and they're sending him in motion, and they're trying to get you to have to go around everybody, and that you're trying to get him on the momentum, and he's got the momentum, and you don't. You're flat-footed almost, and to accelerate towards him and have to make the tackle. And not only did he make the tackle, he makes the tackle, and it's for a loss. So it was somebody texted in earlier and suggested, that's the kind of – it was almost like a season-changing. Who knows what happens if they get that first down there, and, you end up kicking the field goal. And finally getting that 2-score game. So good all-around game yesterday. A lot of learning points in that game. A lot more this week. They'll get ready for Jacksonville and then Dallas. And then they got an interesting Amazon Prime has maybe the NFC, I don't want to say the game of the year, but the NFC East game of the year. Normally the networks are trying to get those Eagles-Cowboys Sunday night or Monday night games, but Amazon Prime might have the big one when they play Washington in a couple of weeks. John McMullen is with us here on the Sports Bash, as always, as the Eagles win over the Cincinnati Bengals. They improved to 5-2, and they are second place in the NFC East. All right, John, we'll talk to you. We'll check out the practice schedule. I know you talked to Josh back there. We'll set it up for this week. All right, buddy, we'll catch up. All right, and, of course, Wednesdays, he said it's tough for him. I do his show on Wednesdays, so if you like John and I's conversations, you can check me out on Birds 365, Wednesdays at 8:20, and John here on the Sports Bash daily at 3 o'clock, generally Mondays at 5 o'clock.
There's a Mark Bavaro jersey right there.
It's old school, huh?
Wow.
Getting ready for the Giant game tonight.
That's right.
Sports Bash Live, he's brought to you by Johnny Mack. Boardwalk Honda, shop their lineup of new pre-owned, certified pre-owned Hondas online, boardwalkhonda.com. I got my Bet365 play of the day coming up.
You already gave it to some guy walking by.
No, that's not my play.
Oh, that's not your play?
Well, he asked me who I like tonight, Steelers or Giants. I said Steelers.
Then he said, how about the Yankees-Dodgers over-under number, 8.5 runs?
I said I'd take the over. He said, you and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the Dodgers might sweep them.
Yeah.
Who do the Dodgers decide to pitch tonight?
That's a good question.
Is it just a bullpen game?
I mean, knowing Dave Roberts, that's all he does is pitch bullpen games.
Well, you can listen to Game 3 tonight on 97.3 ESPN.
Oh, no, it's Walker Buehler.
They decided with Walker Buehler. Okay.
Yeah.
Did Johan Dotson have a catch yesterday?
I don't remember hearing his name.
Me neither. I just saw him on TV over there. Got more airtime than he did catches. Sports Bash Live at the Fanatics Sportsbook at the Game 4 is the bullpen game, Josh is telling me. Fanatics Sportsbook at the Gallery Bar Booking Games. We're live every Monday right here. And, of course, when we come back, we got today's Big Three. We've got so much more to go, including my Bet365 Play of the Day. Stick around. More Sports Bash coming up.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small. Can't wake up without it. Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Booking Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Prices are tumbling down during the Fall Into Savings event at Boardwalk Honda. Get fantastic fall pricing on our entire lineup of new Hondas. Right now, lease a new 2024 Honda Prologue for only $189 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Honda CR-V LX for just $269 a month. Both for 36 months. And remember, from Maine to Miami, nobody beats a Boardwalk deal. Visit HondaBoardwalk.com for low lease payments. Toll free at 484-246-6754 for more details.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
For 75 years, Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the name you trust, where one call does it all. Jenkins expert technicians have been delivering top-notch service to local homeowners. Renovating your kitchen or bath? Call Jenkins. Need a new heating or air conditioning system, service or maintenance, or even ductless air conditioning? Jenkins has you covered. They also specialize in water heaters, boilers, oil service, plumbing and drain cleaning, water line, and sewer main repairs or replacements. Call 609-641-6262 or visit jenkinsandsons.com today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Save thousands at Matt Blatt Kia. Get out of your old trade today, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Go to mattblattkianj.com for more details. That's mattblattkianj.com.
It's gotta be a
Matt Blatt Kia.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. Game 3 of the World Series tonight in New York. Yankees and Dodgers with LA up 2-0, winning the first 2 games of the series out in Los Angeles. Clark Schmidt will get the start tonight for the Yankees, while the Dodgers will counter with Walker Buehler. NFL, the Eagles beat Cincinnati 37-17 Sunday, putting up 20 unanswered points after the Bengals had tied the game in the third quarter. The Eagles win their 3rd in a row. They improved to 5-2. Jalen Hurts had 3 touchdown runs, 236 yards passing, and a touchdown to Devontae Smith. NBA, the Sixers defeated Indiana Sunday 118-114 in overtime, winning their first game of the season. Tyrese Maxey, 45 points. Eric Gordon had 15 off the bench. Philadelphia hosting Detroit Wednesday, while the Flyers return to the ice Tuesday in Boston to take on the Bruins. Philadelphia has lost 6 of 7. They fell Sunday to the Montreal Canadiens 4-3. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
You're a winner when you play Borgata's Winning Wonderland. Now through December 28th, earn entries for your stake in over $1 million in prizes, including 2 2025 Range Rovers. Visit theborgata.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. Get ready for a warm-up. In fact, the warmest day of the week looks like Halloween, Thursday. I'm not sure if that'll be a trick or a treat, but temperatures will flirt with 80 degrees. We'll see a few clouds tonight. It'll be chilly, jacket weather, but not quite as cold as last night, low 46. Partly sunny tomorrow, high 64. Sun and clouds and 75 Wednesday, 78 Thursday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are Download our free mobile app today.
New Jersey is the Garden State. But did you know that one of the most important things we can farm is wind? Offshore wind provides clean, renewable energy. It creates jobs and drives economic growth. In fact, it's estimated that a single wind farm can create over 4,000 jobs and add more than $700 million to the state's economy. Offshore wind, propelling New Jersey's future. To learn more, visit nj.gov/offshore wind.
We have the perfect solution for sitting in traffic.
Come with me.
The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, streaming live video on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. Follow, subscribe, use the hashtag SBLive. We're live at the Fanatics Sportsbook here at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Got the Bet365 play of the day coming up. You know, the Steelers have not lost a home Monday night game since 1992. They are 21-0 straight up.
Man, that's who was the quarterback then? Bubby Brister or something like that?
Either
Neil
Bubby
O'Donnell?
Brister, Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell got them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Could have been
What year was it
like
again?
Tomczak, maybe? 1992.
Yeah, I'm thinking either O'Donnell or Brister. Let me look it up.
Yeah, it was one of those guys maybe, or, 1992.
I'm pretty sure Mark Malone was done by that
Oh,
point.
Mark Malone's a good pull. That's the last time the Steelers have lost on Monday night on a home game was 1992. They are 21-0, and they are playing a Giants team that isn't very good, and Daniel Jones is maybe the worst primetime quarterback of the modern era.
Which is more surprising, if Daniel Jones is the worst primetime quarterback, or that the Steelers haven't lost a primetime game since '92?
That's pretty impressive, Steelers.
I mean, Monday Night Football, I mean, you're on that
Daniel
every
Jones
year.
thing's not a surprise. I mean, he stinks.
I know he stinks, but I mean...
His last 8 primetime starts, he has 0 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's 8 games in which he has no touchdown passes.
That's literally worse than I thought.
8 games, he has no touchdowns and an average of 178 yards per game. It's impressively inept.
By the way, both Bubby Brister and Neil O'Donnell started in '92.
There you go. Both of them.
Barry Foster was on that team. There you go.
By the way, the Monday night game was October 19th. Is that the game you're talking about, Mike?
I don't know the night.
Ah, they didn't give you that information?
It just said 1992.
Yeah.
Last time they lost a home Monday night football.
I mean, this is a game for the Steelers to really make a statement. Wilson's, he's arrived. He's here. He's got to keep that up.
You're waiting for him to fail tonight.
Yeah, I'm waiting to send that text.
You believe that might happen against the Giants?
No, I think Steelers.
What's your beef with Russ?
I just last year and the years in Denver, he didn't look very good. So, I still have my doubts.
Well, in Denver, he wasn't terrible. Like 26 touchdowns, 8 or
last year he was better. Yeah. 2 years ago he was awful.
If Pittsburgh wins, by the way, they would be 6-3. 6-2. They're in first place in that division right now. If they win tonight, they would be 6-2, and you're in play for the number 1 seed all of a sudden. So this is a huge game for Pittsburgh. I mean, this game doesn't mean anything for the Giants.
Yeah,
I don't think the Giant fans care anymore.
I mean, Baltimore dropping these games against Vegas, and then yesterday to Cleveland. I don't know what to make of that.
It's an awful loss by Baltimore.
Yeah.
Wow, Jameis Winston showed up.
Well, yeah, it goes to show how bad the quarterback was. How about the story in Indianapolis, with the quarterback there? They said, we'll evaluate everything. For you to play Anthony Richardson is a slap in the player's face on that team. They're not idiots. The guy can't play. And you're going to keep trotting him out there when you have a perfectly capable guy that helps you win games, and he's sitting on the bench, and this guy can't complete 50% of his passes.
He can't even complete 30% of his passes.
He's so bad.
And he's tired.
And then he left the game yesterday because he was fatigued.
So I asked Mike this question earlier. Let me ask it to you here, okay? Which is worse? Is it Richardson tapping out of the game, or is it the Bears corner yapping with the crowd?
I think it's Richardson by far. I mean, you're the quarterback. You got to play 100% of the snaps. That's the job. That's the deal.
Hurts lost a shoe and came back.
Right. That's the deal. That's the job. You got to play all the snaps. You're not a defensive
It's just
lineman.
a terrible look. You're the quarterback. You're then asking everybody to block for you. And what if the offensive lineman's supposed to turn around to him and say, sorry, I'm too tired?
Right.
I mean, it's a terrible look.
They should use it next time that happens.
It's an awful look, and it's another reason why that kid has no business starting an NFL game.
He came out of college way too early.
Yeah, and he wasn't even that good there. The thing that bothers you about someone like him is, I get it, he's got a great arm. He can launch it 70 yards out
So
the
did Jamarcus
field,
Russell.
but he just can't play. I mean, it's okay. He can't play. So
the problem is he was a top 5 pick, so he's got to play.
Well, that's the problem you have is his draft status. But the veterans on that team are saying, look, we got this other guy, and we can win. We're not a bad football team. We're only bad because of him. And the blueprint of that being the reason is in Cleveland, where the Browns win a game against Baltimore because they had a competent NFL quarterback.
Yep. By the way, I finally found the game that the Steelers lost. It was actually 1991, October 14th. Steelers lost 23-20 to the Giants. That's the last time the Steelers lost a game on Monday Night Football. And the starting quarterback, yes, was Neil O'Donnell. And Bubby Brister had to come into the game and threw an interception.
That's an impressive run. 21-0 they are at
20.
home. Imagine that. Every time you buy a ticket for a Monday night game in Pittsburgh as a fan, you get a victory.
They're 20-3 all time on Monday Night Football, Mike.
Unbelievable.
But the stat you just read, the last time they lost was against the Giants on Monday Night Football. You know what usually happens.
Well, there's been a lot of oddities. That 837 home run with
yep,
that's true.
Kirk Gibson and Freddie Freeman happening.
By the way, you'll be happy to know, Mike, a West Virginia alum beat them in that game.
Jeff Hostetler?
That's correct.
Solid.
Hostetler's Bagels.
Been there many a times. That place still open?
I don't believe so.
No?
No.
Hostetler got out of the bagel business.
Yeah.
It's the only bagel shop in town. You had to go all the way out to the mile ground to go get the bagel.
That's right.
It wasn't like a very conveniently located spot. What else we got today?
Speaking of former players, as I make this as awkward as possible transition, I wanted to bring you for the big three some of the other audio from Chris Long's instant reaction green light pod that he dropped.
Does he only do instant reaction to the Eagles game, or just like an NFL instant reaction?
So he typically does an instant reaction to the Eagles and then like one or two other games. And he usually does it around like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and he usually stops by the time Sunday football kicks off. Usually his producer, Nate, turns to him and was like, hey, Sunday's kicking off. He's like, all right, we're done.
All right.
So, but I did think it was interesting because he did say some interesting, takeaways from the game, and one of them was about Jalen Hurts' recent play.
Jalen was great, man. He looked a lot quicker. He's looking like a little springier to me. When he took off on that read option and hit the corner on Murphy, he looked quick. I don't know if he's getting healthy or something. I don't know if they're just figuring it out, but the last 3 weeks since the bye, 42 of 59, 614 yards, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Is that a typo? That's really good.
Yeah, that's interesting because last week that was a question that was asked of Sirianni about like, hey, hasn't turned the ball over. Is it because he's trusting people more? And to which I said, and he's saying he looks spry and stuff. We were talking last week how everything he does looks like it's in slow motion.
Right.
This week I felt differently. This week he looked like he had more giddy up, like he had more confidence. Like when the play broke down, he didn't just immediately leave the pocket. He kind of waited, and then when he rolled to the left, there was a couple times he did make some plays. I thought he played way quicker and more decisive. Man, somebody's perfume is knocking me over.
No bueno. Well, let me jump in here. Let you know. So for those who don't know, Jalen Hurts, 4 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, no turnovers, a quarterback rating of 127.4, and a completion percentage of almost 72% in the last 3 games this season.
Well, it goes back to the conversation we had with McMullen. What the Lions do, and we talk about, is the Lions' talent that much greater than Philadelphia's talent?
No.
I would say that the Eagles have a better defensive talent on paper, but maybe
No, I talk about offense.
Offense is comparable, I would say. You could say the Lions have a better offensive line. I think the Eagles have better 1-2 receiver combo. Maybe the Lions have better receiver depth. Like, I think we would take the Lions 3 and 4 guys over.
But as I
Dotson.
say, you watch them play, you would say this team's offensively significantly better.
They're more efficient. I mean, Jared Goff is on historical pace right now, efficiency.
Well, and that's what, we were talking about. Like, John was suggesting that Hurts can't play at that level. That's just not the style of quarterback he is. And that's what it's like. Their receivers, I don't know. Who do you like better? Do you like Amon-Ra St. Brown? Jameson Williams didn't even play this week, and they still scored 40-plus.
Yeah, Jared Goff had less than 100 passing yards with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, their receiving core, who do you like better, Phillies or Detroit?
I would probably still say Detroit's.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. You like those two? And who's the other guy? Reynolds?
Tim Patrick, Reynolds, and Khalif Raymond.
So you like they have more depth.
They have definitely more depth.
Yeah, their 3, 4, and 5 guys are better than Phillies are. The top 2, though, Amon-Ra St. Brown and
Williams.
Jameson Williams. Now, Williams didn't play, but he's a deep threat.
Which tight end do you like better, Laporta or Goddard?
Another close one. I mean, if you like Laporta better, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just they're close.
They're definitely close.
I mean, they're close at receiver. They're close at tight end. Would you rather Barkley or would you rather have their 2 guys, Gibbs and Montgomery?
I mean, you definitely got to take Barkley in that situation.
I mean, I guess because Barkley's a bell cow type, but
they're close. Like, if I said you can have these 2 guys, I'll trade. You would say, okay. I mean, you're not getting ripped off.
No, it's not. It's not like if you get Gibbs and Montgomery, you're like losing a ton.
No, but I think what you're seeing right now, there's 2 differences. Goff is playing at a higher level than Hurts, a more consistent high level than Hurts is. And their offensive line, I think, is just not only is it better than Philly's, it's better than everybody's by far. Like, they're tough, they're nasty, they're mean, they're physical. That's where I think, and I think we're seeing around the league how important the line is. Like, the Jets don't have an offensive line, they stink.
Yes.
There's a lot of other teams that just their offensive line holds them back, and that's why they're just not good.
I would also point to something that Pete said previously last week. Pete, you brought up the fact that, the Lions have Ben Johnson and the Eagles don't. So how much of this conversation about the Lions is they have arguably one of the best play callers in the game and the Eagles don't?
I mean, that's fair, but you could also say, like, Kellen Moore has led offenses to, like, the number 1. I mean, he's been, at times, led the top offenses in the league.
So do we look at Kellen Moore and say he can only win with certain kinds of personnel?
I mean, he's got what better personnel does he need? I mean, does he want to swap out A.J. Brown for someone different? I would imagine he says no. Does he want to get rid of Devontae Smith for somebody? Is there a different type of receiver that he wants rather than the 2 guys he has? I can't imagine.
Swap out the quarterback?
That's what it comes down to, though. Like, that's what McMullen was saying. It essentially was they got Jared Goff and you don't. I mean, it's just wild to say that. How many years into Jared Goff's career? What was he drafted in 2016?
2016.
So 8 years into his career, we're at the point where we're saying there's a reason this guy was the number 1 overall pick. He's pretty damn good.
I still think Detroit's going to trip up a little bit. They still have to play Green Bay twice. They got to play Chicago twice. They got to play San Francisco later on in the year.
Well, that whole that whole division,
right?
They all play each other coming up a lot.
You would think that they would probably, I don't know, beat up on each other a little bit, or maybe cause some losses that you wouldn't normally get.
Yeah, I mean, when you haven't played division games, I think the Lions played the Vikings, and
that was 31-29.
That was a close game.
Yeah.
What other division games? Did Green Bay play? They haven't played Detroit.
Green Bay's played the Vikings.
Yeah.
Detroit,
there hasn't been a lot of North games.
That goes for the Eagles, too. They've only played 1 division game. So they got to play Washington twice. They got to play in Dallas.
Yeah. Well, coming up here, after this Jaguar game, then you have another group of games where you have Dallas, Washington. I think they play Carolina in there somewhere.
They play L.A.
Baltimore.
Rams.
Yeah, they play the Rams on a Sunday night, and they play Baltimore.
So Baltimore, you would expect, if they lose that game, that's okay.
I mean,
it's
because
Baltimore, yeah.
It's at Baltimore, yeah. So you're probably looking at that as, I don't want to say a scheduled loss, but it's understandable if it happens.
But if you're still tied with Washington, That'd be a good win.
Yeah.
That'd be a great win. Speaking of the Eagles, let me get into this real quick for you, Mike. So the Eagles defense, we haven't talked about them. I'm talking about Cooper DeJean. What about the defense as a whole? Chris Long on the Green Lake podcast.
Maybe you've noticed the defense has started to play well. Maybe you noticed the coverage is a little bit more competitive. It wasn't early in that game. I did not think back when Atlanta moved the ball the distance with under a minute to go, like it was nothing, that we'd ever be talking about the Eagles defense making huge plays to help the team win in key games.
Well, a lot of that was in that Atlanta game. They couldn't get any pressure, right? I mean, and I think adding Cooper DeJean has, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, I just like the way that they can use him in different ways. They can hide him. They can disguise blitzes. They can use him in different ways. You saw yesterday, he's chasing Jamar Chase around. He's not an outside number one corner in this defense, but yesterday on that particular play, hey, man, you're following Chase. That's not what his role normally is, right? So normally, he's playing nickel, but he was matched up with Chase in that particular role. He's a good tackler. Like, those are things that get so undervalued, is a guy who can simply make a tackle, for God's sakes.
Eagles have allowed the fewest points in the NFL since Cooper DeJean became the starting nickel coming out of the bye week. The last 3 games, Eagles have only allowed 29 points.
Yeah, I think defensively they're still growing. I'm not saying, man, this is a really, really good defense. I think, I'd be interested to see if Howie Roseman is on the phone looking for a pass rusher.
Howie's always on the phone.
It's a hard one for him, though, because he paid Huff $51 million, and he's not getting $51 million worth of production.
Howie did dump Jalen Reagor on somebody, so Howie will move on if he feels like he has to.
Yeah, but Reagor wasn't making any money. He paid Huff real money. He's got to – and then you have to admit your mistake, and then you have to replace him. So there's a 2-pronged thing that you don't want to have the egg on your face. But I don't know, if you can get Max Crosby. I said, what did I say to Sal Powell on Friday? Go beat Cincinnati and then take Hendrickson. Get on the phone and say, hey, if you want to get rid of him, we'll bring him home with us. What pass rusher will be the guy that these teams are – because it seems like big names are getting moved.
Titans are trading guys. What about Harold Landry?
Find me a guy. Who's the guy from Cleveland won a game? So I don't know. Are they Zadarius Smith?
I think Myles Garrett's not getting traded.
No.
But the Smith could be. And he's
Smith,
still,
yeah.
Yeah, he could still play.
Good old Zadarius Smith. He's been around.
All right, we'll do the Bet365 play of the day. We'll get you the standings from my Friday plays, all that and more coming up next on the Sports Bash, live from the Fanatics Sportsbook at the Gallery Bar Booking Games at the Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Game 3 of the World Series on ESPN Radio. Dodgers take care of business at home, winning games 1 and 2. Now the series shifts to New York. Game 3 of the Yankees and Dodgers. Coverage begins today at 7 Eastern, with first pitch at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to the World Series. Game 3 tonight on 97.3 ESPN.
Brought to you by Shore Physicians Group. Be well connected. Visit shorephysiciansgroup.com.
Score a touchdown when you bank with Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Catch lower rates on loans and higher rates on savings. You'll cheer when you don't have to pay a penny to get your own money, since they offer 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs. Get the details or open an account online with just a $25 minimum deposit at JerseyShoreFCU.org, or swing to a branch in Northfield, Galloway, Hemington, or Rio Grande. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
When you experience, go for the best. Pick up the phone and call Dennisville Fence.
Hey South Jersey homeowners, autumn is here and fall season means fence season. Are you dreaming of a new fence or railing but you don't want to break the bank? Our pro tip of the day, install in the fall for big savings. As your exclusive Active Yards dealer, you can choose from our inventory of privacy, decorative, security, and pull fence solutions by Active Yards. No matter what your needs are, we have a high-quality, maintenance-free Active Yard solution that is right for you. Don't miss our install in the fall savings coupled with our no money down, interest-free financing so together we can make your dream a reality. So give us a call today or go online to DennisvilleFence.com to request a free estimate and be sure to mention that you want to install in the fall.
Go with experience, go for the best. Pick up the phone and call Dennisville Fence. 1-800-499-FENCE.
Visit DennisvilleFence.com. Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
With GMF financing, the qualified buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette excludes prior sales.
Need a car, truck, or SUV? Great! Get to Bennett Chevy, where you're going to get Bennett's best offers ever. You know Bennett sells new Chevys at the true GM supplier employee price, right? Well, right now, Bennett Chevrolet says, how'd you like to buy your new Chevy and pay $500 below the GM supplier employee price? Yes, $500 less than our employees. Plus, you keep all the rebates. That's up to 15% off the sticker. And with available 0% financing, you'll have incredibly low payments. And if you've got an old car to trade, right now you'll get a minimum $10,000 towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. That's at least $10,000 for total junk. Imagine how much we'll pay for good trades. And wait till you experience Bennett's non-commissioned sales team. Paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend, so they'll make getting all these unbelievable deals even better. Together, let's drive Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
A couple minutes till we get out of here tonight. Time for the Bet365 play of the day. How'd we do on Friday there, Josh?
Mike, you nailed all of your NBA picks.
Wow.
Just so you know, Pete, Gill picked no football games on Friday.
Well, there's no football games really to pick.
There you go.
Well, you could pick games for Sunday.
I liked your answer better. Well,
of course you did, because you were right.
Yeah, what was how many picks did I give you?
You gave me 4. You got all 4.
Got all 4 right.
Austin Reeves, Paolo Banchero, Giannis, and Clint Capella all nailed it.
And that makes us, what's the updated right?
41-25.
41-25, PG. Here's a couple more bucks for you. Here you go. Wan'Dale Robinson over 4.5 tonight. Russell Wilson over 200 yards passing. Over 4.5, by the way, receptions for Wan'Dale. Russell Wilson over 200 yards passing. George Pickens over 40 yards receiving. Put those together, you get odds of plus 206. I also like the Rockets over 218 tonight. Pacers take the Pacers tonight. Pacers are 11-0 since December against the spread when they lose at home. Sixers beat them last night
That's a
at home.
back-to-back, yeah.
Yep, they'll play the Magic tonight. They are +5 at Orlando, so I like the Pacers there. Rockets are where's that number? Let me just get it updated for you real quick. It is over under 219. I'll take that over there as well. I like the Steelers tonight. They're 9-0 against the spread since 2018 on 9 days rest. There you go. They're my Bet365 plays of the day. Thanks to the Fanatics Sportsbook, as always, here at Ocean Casino Resort. We'll be back here next Monday, recapping the Eagles and the Jaguars, which you can listen to on 97.3 ESPN. But remember, that is a 4 o'clock game. That game was originally a Sunday night game. They moved it to 4 o'clock. So the pregame coverage on 97.3 starts at 3. They kick off at 4 right here on 97.3 ESPN.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia.